Are you an angel?
I heard your prayers, Sarah.
I think the church's prayers have gone unanswered.
God stopped listening to us a long time ago.
Do not be afraid.
What's up, buddy?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Now we're cool. I always mute and kill the camera while all that shit's playing so I can get stuff ready.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Muted it. Yeah, I'm doing good.
Cool. Thanks for coming on, first of all.
No problem.
And again, I figured you're like the best man for this job, dude. You know, seriously, I seriously think you should add critic to your title because you're very thorough and you're very fair, you know, and that seems to be kind of rare. So anyways, what I got to do real quick, and again, man, this is fucking Wednesday night.
Yeah, man, we're just chilling.
We're just hanging, but you know, I got used to the Sundays.
Yeah.
And like last week wasn't Sunday. This week's not Sunday. I'm not sure if I'm doing one this Sunday. If I do, it's going to be like this. It's going to be like a casual hangout. I don't even know what the hell I'm going to talk about. So if you have any ideas, let me know. But I may just, if I can't think of anything decent, I'll skip Sunday because let's see. I think the following Sunday there's a guy I'm actually going to do like a casual interview. I don't even like to call it interview. I fucking hate interviews. I'm basically kind of, you know, giving him the chance to promote his thing. He's got
It's a live discussion.
Yeah, it's like it's like a live discussion, kind of like a casual. And I'm really what do you call it? What's the word, Tyler? You're an author. Accentuating, reinforcing. What's the word I'm looking for?
I'm not sure which one you're looking for.
Going over it over and over, reminding. Anyways, whatever the hell the word is, that is casual because I hate, you know, I hate, you know, researching and questions and is this the right question on this crap. I just kind of want to have someone on, see what they're about, let them talk, and kind of just go from there. You know what I mean? And that's why like you're here tonight because I'm like you are like perfect for this kind of shit. So I'm glad you're here.
I'm not as an author, especially a self-published author, I should consider myself as a business owner, but ultimately I'm not a real professional, serious kind of guy.
Right. None of us feel that way. I mean, that's what's I'm sure there are guys, I'm sure that, you know, act that way. I fucking don't. But technically, you know, Between Demons and Angels is copyrighted. It's legal. It's protected, and it's an LLC. You know, I've got my business license hanging on the wall. So technically, it is an actual business. You can look it up, and it's there. But it just doesn't feel like it because this is a different age. You know, we're hanging out at home on webcams talking about this shit. You know, we're not in suit and ties in an office and all this crap, board meetings and everything. We're doing this shit. So it does. It's kind of weird. It's like it doesn't really feel like a business, but technically it is. You know, you're selling a product, you're dealing with advertising, marketing, promotion, all this shit. You're getting an income. There's, you got to deal with taxes and all this crap. So yeah, it actually is a business. So as for you, yeah, you are kind of, doing a business, man.
Yeah.
But we're trying to make it not stuffy, not uptight, a little bit of fun. That's how I see it. So anyways, what I was going to say is I know it's Wednesday, and I always try to do the whole Sunday salute thing, because I like to thank people watching and who've helped all this stuff. But it keeps, fucking Thursday or a Wednesday or whatever, and it's just like it's never a Sunday. So I was like, well, maybe I should change the name to like whatever. So it's like, fuck it, I'm gonna keep a Sunday salute, and then when I'm back on track on Sundays, then it'll all be cool. So just a quick salute, first of all, to my brother Rick, who's in the chat. Thanks for making it. And Kyle Prometheus and Donnie in Berlin, and Vichy, the composer, and my buddy EK in Cincinnati. Who else am I missing? Man, I think that's it. Oh, Star Million, he's cool. Star Million, you need to have him promote your stuff when you are ready to get your stuff promoted. Do you know who Star Million is?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Pretty sure I've seen that name a couple times on X.
I had him on the show, like, he was like the third, I think he was on the third show. You can go back and check out that show if you want.
I know the name, so I've seen the video. I've seen the video or something.
Yeah, he's a promoter. He's in Scotland, though. It's like, I swear to God, dude, you and I are the only ones in the States, man. Like, everyone I know is like in these other countries. It's crazy. And but he's a really good guy. No drama. He has his own comic that came out, and he's working on the second one, which is cool. And we went over that, so that was neat. So anyways, if you want another good guy to promote you, find his posts and shit on. He's not every day. That's the only thing is he doesn't really have a schedule. He kind of just posts one week, and then at this time, and next week it's a different day and different time. But if you catch him, he's really cool. So anyways, so there's that. So what else? What's going on? All right, cool. Nothing yet. Yeah. So it looks like it's just like one or two people watching, which is cool. It makes it easier for me. So we are going to dissect the first 2 or 3 chapters of Volume 1, right?
Yeah.
Cool. And hey, you got it. There you go. And so with that, yeah, dude, that still baffles me. I'm still confused. That's Volume 1. That's not Extended Edition. So you know what I'm thinking? Man, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm not sure. Oh, you know what it is? You know what it is. That's what it is. That cover is the original first cover of Volume 1. So I probably had a different back cover to that, because the variant cover, I must have put a different back on, the one without the cross. That's the only explanation I can have. But anyways, you hang on to that, because I'm probably not going to be printing anymore. Okay. So let me get my Photoshop up here. This works. Does this work? Can you see this, man?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, cool. Let me screw around this. Let's see what we got. That's
your Star Wars cover.
Exactly right. Yup. This. Okay, we're gonna stick with. Where the hell did it go? This. That's cool. I like this stuff. Yeah, this is the one I based on the poster for
Episode 1.
Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Yeah, because I love those Star Wars posters. I mean, I grew up seeing them, And the same artist does all the posters, and I love his style. They're painted, He actually and they're huge, dude. I mean, dude, we're talking like they're big, like I don't know, 6x10 or they're big. And this dude paints and airbrushes and all sorts of shit. There's like no digital shit involved. So I was looking at all the posters, and you can't use the original Star Wars because that was actually painted by the Hildebrandt brothers, the one with Luke, you know, and the holding sword and Leia. The Hildebrandt brothers painted that one because it was back in the 70s. And then this other artist kind of took over and did like Empire and Jedi. And if you look at all those posters, I mean, the layout's awesome for all of them, but some are a little too iconic. You know what I mean? Like the original Star Wars one. Everyone would spot that a fucking mile away. So I was looking, and I was like, look at the Phantom Menace one. I was like, this might fucking work. You know, it's not that obvious. And so I must have pulled it off because, again, I think that, who was it? Was Kyle on when I was telling about that?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was that show where he was on, and I flat out asked him, I said, does it remind you of anything? Anything. I gave him like 5 chances.
I guessed it was X-Men Apocalypse.
Right, you were right. So again, because no one really caught it, I'm like, oh, that's actually cool because I didn't want it to be so obvious. You know what I mean? So I'm like, but now once you see it, it's like you can't unsee it. Okay, clearly, I literally took it straight from, which I did. You know what I mean? So anyways, yes, this is the variant cover for Volume 1. You have the original cover, which I'm probably not going to be printing anymore because I have a few of these left here. Yeah, as you can see, it's just it's the lineup. You know, you've got that's the succubus back there, the demon face. But what I did for this is I scarred up her face. I put these carved demonic runes on her face because in Volume 2 that I'm working on now, there's a I thought of it during Volume 2. I'm like, when the demons like demon out, you know, when they get raged and shit, that's kind of when they turn ugly, right? So then I thought of The Exorcist because I actually referred to The Exorcist a lot in my research starting 11 years ago because The Exorcist is fucked up. That's a fucked up. Have you ever seen The Exorcist, the full length one?
Yeah, the original?
Yeah.
I haven't sat down and watched the whole thing. I watched parts of it when I was a kid.
Right.
My mom hid all the good spots or good parts.
All right, dude, you should listen.
But I know the general stuff of it.
Okay, I was the same way. I saw it as a kid on TV and it was edited and all this shit. It still scared the living shit out of me. I became obsessed with the demon face in the dream. I don't know if you remember, but Father Karras is it's like the first quarter of the movie. It's kind of early on, but he's asleep and he's having this dream and he's dreaming of his old mother. She's that old lady and she's in the subway and she's like waving at him. He's running towards her and he can't catch her. And then there it's literally, it's like, because I freeze framed it, I paused it, frame by frame. Dude, it's like 7 or 8 frames, maybe 10 tops. So we're talking half a second. And it's the flash of the demon, right? Of what's he called? Pazuzu. The demon's name is Pazuzu, right? It's the flash of the demon face. All it is, and it's iconic. You can look it up. It's all over the fucking internet. But it's just black, and then this fucking pale face just flashes real quick, and that's it. And that scared the shit out of me for
like
years.
The original jump scare.
But yeah, not only was it a jump scare, but it's silent. It's not like rah! It's just he's dreaming, and you see him, and then all of a sudden there's this face flash, and you're like, "What the fuck was that?" So I became obsessed with the face, and I remember, of course, late at night. You know, I'm a teenager, and it's late at night, and I have a fucking VCR. I'm pausing it, and I'm staring at this. I'm studying this face. You know, it reminds me, it's like a car crash or something you're scared of. You're terrified of it. You know, you're like, oh, fuck, this sucks. I don't look at it, but you become obsessed with it. And so you're like, oh,
can't look away.
Yeah. And so I basically jumped straight into my fear of this thing and became obsessed with it. And then in high school, I just started drawing it over and over. And I was trying to make it perfect. You know what I mean? And at the time, you know, you don't have smartphones, so you can't get an image from the internet and look at it. It's literally, okay, what a pause in the fucking movie and I'm trying to draw it. You know what I mean? So, anyways, this demon face of the demon in The Exorcist, I just became fascinated with. So that movie really did it for me when it comes to demons and exorcisms and all that shit. But I watched it when they came out. In fact, I saw it in theater. When was that, man? 15
The original
years ago.
Exorcist?
They re-released it in the theater with the cut scenes they added.
Oh,
They dolled them up and made them blend in, and there was like 4 or 5 additional scenes that were not in the original film, and they were all demon shit, dude. They were all fucked up. It's where she's crawling around upside down the stairs. Have you seen that clip? She comes down the stairs crawling like a spider, but she's backwards. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Okay. That wasn't in the original movie. It was too freaky for them, so they cut it out. Well, that was back in there. There was another image of the demon face, like in the background somewhere, like it appears on a wall. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And
it's almost subliminal.
Very, which is why I got the idea for this shit. And this is why I'm going to point this shit out to you tonight. I'll point out little subliminal things. Because I love the hidden images. I love hidden images and stuff. And when it's a still picture like this, like comics, you can hide all sorts of shit. Some people are like known for it. It's the what is it? The classic Where's Waldo?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where's Waldo? So you look at the fucking picture trying to find him. It's kind of just like that. Except it's a little more fun. So anyway,
it's Where's Satan?
What's that?
I said it's Where's Satan?
Where's Satan? Where's Satan? That's good. I'm gonna have to remember that. But anyways, my point is, if you get the chance to get it's probably like a director's cut or something like that on DVD or whatever, watch it, okay? Because there is some fucked up shit. Dude, there's some fucked up shit in that movie where I now, as an older guy, I'm like, how in the fuck did they allow this in the theater? It was scenes that weren't cut. And one of them has to do with the crucifix. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
about. Okay. When you watch it, they're showing shit. They're showing it. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, I can't believe it. I literally was like, this is messed up. This is messed up. You know what I'm saying? That was in the theater decades ago. I'm like, how do they do this? How do they get away with it? This is why people were freaking out and throwing up and all this stuff. And that's like one of the worst scenes, but there's others. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people back in the day were just built different.
I guess, man, because
I mean, if you go, it's wild. If you go and you look at like a kid's movie, like a kid's cartoon from the 80s and 90s,
right?
It's so mature that adults now can watch it and it's totally normal.
Exactly.
But it was for kids back then. And now the stuff is so incredibly dumbed down and it's like childified or whatever.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And some people, they think that it has to do with the fact that, a long time ago, if a kid were to see a movie like that, it was because the parent took them to the theater. So there had to be an adult in the theater sitting there with them. Right. And so the creators of those films were having to entertain children with friendly little characters, but with a plot that was mature enough that the adults sitting around with them could enjoy it.
Gotcha.
Now parents don't have to watch it. They just give their kid a tablet and they're just like, go have fun.
Yeah. I think it's a societal thing. I think as we've seen in this whole culture shift starting 10, 20 years ago, everything's just different. And I don't know. There's just a lot of movies back then where it was technically more. I thought, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought things were more puritanical back then, more like you couldn't get away with as much nudity or sex or whatever. But apparently you could. I guess as a kid, I just didn't realize it. And I wasn't seeing that kind of shit. Now as an adult, I'm like, no, I guess it's always been in the movies and shit. It's always been fucked. It's just that now I think it's more prevalent. I think it's like PG movies have nude scenes and crazy.
Well, it's kind of everything's kind of upside down.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
So what will happen is I come across this basically this exact topic. I came across it recently. I was watching some people talk about it. I don't remember the exact examples they were bringing up, but basically you've got really like raunchy sexual stuff for kids.
Right.
And then for adults, it's like censored and they can't say ass.
Yeah. It's weird. It's again, it goes to the whole, the theory of grooming shit, and I don't know, you tell me.
Oh man, what was that? There was this show. I can't even remember the name of it. I never actually watched the show, but I knew it existed. It was on like Cartoon Network, and it was about like Satan's dog.
Hey, speaking of, I got a light flashing.
Huh?
I said one of my lights is flickering and going out. Oh shit! Did I conjure something?
I don't know.
You see this flashing? You see the flash?
I see it flashing. Yeah, I see it. I can't remember what that show was called, but anyway, it was just a show that came on Cartoon Network for kids, and it was just this dog, and it was Satan's dog, and it was just like Baphomets and pentagrams and all kinds of crazy shit all over it.
All right, I'm gonna have to fix this. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna go dark for just a second and check. So give me a minute, okay?
All right.
Sorry, Rick.
Are you good?
Give me a second.
This is why you got to have two lights. I got one over here and one over here. Well, technically, I got the room light too.
Is one of us now. All right. Did you hear my little whisper?
Yeah, I heard you.
I tried to sound like a demon, but I just didn't.
You
No,
gotta get more in your throat if you want to sound like a demon. Make it more gargly.
That was yeah. No, Lepo was just. I guess it wasn't in tight enough, but whatever. That's cool.
Yeah, I never got too into like horror movies.
Yeah,
but where I listen to a lot of heavy metal stuff,
right.
It's in the same kind of thing, but instead of trying to stimulate fear and anxiety through imagery, it's fear and anxiety through the music. It's instead of like showing hell, it's the sounds of hell.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that was the whole satanic panic in like when I was a kid, they called it the satanic panic. I mean, you can look it up and it's history now, satanic panic. And that came from D&D, which I fucking started playing when I was 12 years old. And heavy metal, you play the fucking record backwards and Satan's calling, that shit, you know what I mean? It was just like, okay, whatever. And
666 Mark of the Beast.
Yeah, man. And
And
if you look into
Slayer.
it, yeah, dude. I mean, Iron Maiden. The first concert I saw was Iron Maiden. And they have a song called "The Number of the Beast."
Yeah, that's what I was referencing.
Great fucking song. Revelations. That's my favorite song of theirs. Revelations. I love that song. They have a lot of biblical stuff. A lot of but they are not Satanists. And they would have to come out sometimes in these interviews and say, "We're not Satanists. We're singing about war and the Bible and the devil's in the Bible." And so he comes, but all the fucking Bible bangers, we called them back then, Bible bangers, the crazy Christians, were up in arms and all this shit. So it was bullshit. You know what I mean?
But
They're
it's
just guys
like,
performing.
yeah, it's just like, there's, I mean, well, there are legitimately satanic people and like that and satanic bands, but there are a lot of bands that, have dark, evil imagery in their makeup and their album and all that, and have dark, scary music. But it's just like, an actor in a film.
Right.
That actor's playing a serial killer.
Right.
But it's an act. He's not really an evil demon from hell like Freddy Krueger. Like that, it's just a guy pretending.
Exactly. And I think one of the best reveals has been in the last few years with Alice Cooper. You know Alice Cooper, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Where he's a Christian, like a devout Christian with crosses, and he prays and all that shit. Dude, in the 80s and 90s and shit, everyone thought he was Satanist. Blood sacrifices, all that. I mean, and no, the truth is he's probably
just
more
theater of it.
It's all an act. It's all an act. And I actually met, Marilyn Manson, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I met him when I lived in San Francisco. Because the company I worked for, we made the T-shirts for him and his concerts. And so he would come in and look at the T-shirts, and you liked them, of course, all this shit. I couldn't fucking believe it. He's a nerd and a little nerd. He's this little skinny fucking nerd. I'm like,
That's why he's always in like giant stilts and 6-inch platform boots.
Dude, he was he just was, I don't want to say ugly, but he wasn't a good looking, he was just this nerd. And I'm like, this is Satan on earth. This is the fucking guy that everyone's afraid of. This fucking guy. I couldn't believe it. And he was nice too. He was like almost shy, And it's like,
you see the same thing in like country.
Yeah.
A lot of those artists are talking like they're from back in the sticks, man. We're from and then
from New York.
Yeah, they're just regular city people. They just put on the accent for the song.
Yeah, it amazes me.
Or you'll have rappers.
Oh yeah,
like they hard as fuck, yo. But
big time.
Really, they just hung out with white kids in school.
Yeah.
And they're just straight A's.
Yeah.
they're not about that life.
It's amazing how, but you're right, man. It seems like, especially with musicians, it's more of an act. Like Alice Cooper, Iron Maiden, Ozzy.
Well, you got to stand out. You got to stand out. You got to have your gimmick that makes you memorable.
Right.
Same thing within wrestling. If every wrestler that got between the ropes was just wearing a regular old Speedo thing, it's just like, oh well, you're not memorable. Right. But you give someone a crazy uniform with like flames and a mask. Right. All of a sudden, it's like, I'm gonna remember that guy.
Exactly. Yeah, it is. It's marketing. It's selling. It's all that stuff. But then, so then you have the flip side, and we can bring up this recent news within the last couple nights of a lot of musicians it's an act. They're the opposite of their character. Then you've got some who actually are fucked up that way, where they are dealing with child trafficking and all this satanic shit. And who's the fucking guy who just got busted the last couple of days? Who's going to prison? That everyone's talking about.
Diddy.
1,000 bottles of baby oil, man? Come on. The fuck is going on there, dude? And all that shit.
The difference there is he ain't singing about that stuff. That's his secret personal life.
Right.
So some of these guys, they seem like they're just cool people. Or guys and girls, women too. They just seem like, oh, they're just a musician. And then behind the scenes, they're doing spirit cooking.
Mm-hmm.
and going to islands.
And the point is this, going to the island. That was basically what I was saying, is there are some who it is an act, and they actually are really good people. Then there are some where they're really fucked up. And in fact, they're more fucked up than the persona they have. So again, it's like, who do you believe? You know what I mean? It seems like it seems like nothing is as it seems. Like no one is as they seem. And at least when it comes to the upper echelon, the elite and stuff. Guys like us, it's like, what you see is what you get, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I guess the minute you're like celebrity status, I don't know. I guess you gotta I don't know, start hiding stuff or pretending or something. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I mean, some people think that power changes you.
Right.
I'm more of the believer that power just allows you to be who you are.
It brings out the true self.
I think most people put on an act, put on a mask so that they can blend in with everybody. And then once they get enough power and money, they realize they don't have to put on a front anymore and they can just be who they want to be.
Yeah.
And that's when they become assholes and they stomp on everybody around them because that's just who they are.
Yeah. Like the mask comes off and you see who they really are. You know what I mean? That's true. I pretty much believe the same. It's like you see the real person for who they are. You know what I mean? That they were just being polite and friendly to get to what they want. Now they're there. Now that they're in power and control, you're right. They're like, fuck, well, I don't need to hide anymore. Fuck this. And then, but then sometimes it's they're good people. You find out, there's a lot of actors like Mark Wahlberg and who else?
Oh yeah. I mean, there are lots of like actors and musicians who are like really cool, really chill people.
Cool, yeah.
You
Keanu Reeves, I've heard is awesome.
And I've come across people who are like, oh, I met so and so, and they were really cool. And then I've run into people who said I met so and so, and they were an asshole.
Yeah, it's amazing. I guess it just depends on the person. So, anyways, okay, so back to this shit. But see, this is what I'm saying, dude. I'll fucking start here and and then okay, wrangle me back here. You gotta help me when I go way the fuck out to Pluto. You gotta wrangle me back to Earth. So anyways, this is just the variant covers. You can see this is the succubus. I added the splitting skin because what I'm doing now is, again, this refers to the exorcist when the fucking words appeared on her stomach or when the demon was coming out and her skin started ripping. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. That's how I picture this. I picture when the demons get really enraged, it's like their energy and hate inside them starts to rip through their skin. But I want to have not just rips, they're demonic runes, like the fucking language. So, like her face, this is like demonic symbols and hieroglyphics that are ripping through her fucking face because she's so pissed off. I thought that was like a nice little touch, you know what I mean? Because the succubus is supposed to be attractive, but it's like, okay, well, she has to have that ugly face, that pissed off demonic thing where you're like, fuck. She's not pretty anymore. You know what I mean? So how do I do that?
Vampires and Van Helsing.
Exactly right. Where, they're tall, dark, and handsome, but
they're pretty and they lure you in and then they turn into monstrous vampires.
And that's what I'm doing with the demons. So I'm like, that's the one of the traits is their skin splits with the bloody demonic runes on them. And I'm like, okay, this could be fun. You know what I mean? I could have fun with this one. So anyways, I added that for her. And then here's Father St. John, the priest, and Tara, the bodyguard, and, the wanderer and his wolf, the Talanthea, the kind of the main angel in volume 1, but he actually is not a main character. He kind of starts to fade as the books go. But at least for volume 1, I consider him a main character because he's the first angel to arrive. He's the first one to arrive.
Yeah, he seems like he's running the show.
He kind of is. He actually he's kind of known as a journeyman knight, but that's not an actual angelic rank. It's more of a character trait. He's kind of, I guess you would call him like a sergeant. Like if this is an army or platoon, he's like second or third in command. But because he was the first to arrive, the next ones who arrive with him, he's kind of in charge of. So that's why, it's almost deceptive at first because you're like, oh, this guy must be the leader. It's like, no, he's not. The leader's not here yet. He's kind of second or third in command, but he just happens to arrive first. And the Celestion is the female angel that accompanies him. Like she arrives immediately after. And when I originally designed them, I wanted them to be like twins, like brother sister. So if you look at the hairstyle, I gave them the same fucking hairstyle.
Yeah, I noticed, and I was like, he didn't really change up his characters. model.
I
for
do.
this much, did he?
I did, but these two in particular, I said they should be like twins, like brother and sister, because what it is it's almost a master apprentice relationship. But angels don't have masters and apprentices. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
That's like a demonic thing. So this is more of a teacher-student thing. So out of the 13 angels to arrive, Celestion is actually the youngest and the least powerful out of all of them. She's the young one of the group, right? Talanthea is like her teacher, her kind of mentor. He, kind of helps her, keeps her, make sure she stays pure and good and everything, that. So these two have this brother-sister kind of bond. So I was like, okay, I need to make these two look like same skin tone, same hair, same fucking everything. So that wasn't due to laziness. That was on purpose. It was intentional. I intentionally did that. So anyways, all right. So
You see difference when the third shows up, Atlantis.
And then Tursa.
Yeah,
Because
Tursa.
Elandis has got and you'll see. Hang on, let me get to some of this stuff here.
Atlantis, he's got the ponytail off to the side.
Yeah, and he's got like
He's
sandy.
He's got a darker complexion to him as well.
Yeah, and you can't tell yet, but all the angels have different colored eyes. And I'm trying to kind of one by one do panels zooming into their eyes. But Elandis's eyes are purple, basically lavender. It's like a light purple. And if you have the book, so if you look real close at his eyes, you can see his eyes are actually a light purple. I assigned different eye color to every angel. A lot of them have blue, blue. Okay. But some have gray. Elandis has lavender, I call it, which is purple. Some have gold, like gold pupils. What else? I think there's one that may have green. I have to check my notes. She comes in later. I basically have angels have different colored eyes. Now, Tursa, her eyes are blue with gold specks. So again, you can't really see unless you zoom in on the eyes. But I literally, when I draw her eyes, there's and you've probably seen the book. I've got like a close up of like just her eyes,
Yeah. You really focus in on the eyes a lot.
Yeah, the eyes are the windows of the soul, man. I mean, ask any chick that. Jesus Christ, women are obsessed with eyes. He had the prettiest eyes. Oh, his eyes are so sexy. You know what I mean? It's all about the fucking eyes. But it's kind of true. It's like they really do tell a lot about the person. And so I'm like, wow, you can have different colored eyes. Why not? Why not have purple eyes? Fucking who cares? You know what I'm saying? And so I started assigning different colors to the angels, almost equivalent. It almost mimics the glow of their swords. Now, you don't really know this yet because there's not a lot of battle going on. But Tursa's got blue eyes with black gold speckles in them. And her sword glows blue. Elandis, he has a short sword, which will have a slight purplish tint to it. And it kind of matches his eyes. You see what I'm saying? This colors is huge in this fucking book. Everything's fucking color coordinated. Colors mean everything in this book. And so, holy shit. Hey man, we got Miss Berlin here. Wow, she popped in a while ago. Well, I guess I've been talking, huh? Let's catch up on chat. You can see the chat, right?
I can't see chat.
Oh, you can't?
I'd have to go on, I guess, YouTube to see it.
Oh, okay. No, that's cool. Let me give you a second to catch up. My brother, hi.
Yeah, let them in the conversation.
Well, yeah, they don't. I'd love Dana to live stream, but she doesn't live stream. She does videos. My brother, I don't think knows how to live stream.
Well, I was talking about just they're commenting or questioning in the comments, whatever.
Yeah. There she is. She says, "Hi, Smooth Tyler, Mr. Virginia."
Oh yeah, she's obsessed with my voice.
She thinks you're cool. Oh, now Danny says, no, not the eyes. It's all about the action. Okay, well, okay. The one woman who says it's not about the eyes. Of course, Danny says it's not about the fucking eyes. Every woman I've ever known for however many years, they all love the eyes. And so, anyways, eyes are kind of important to me in the book. And you have noticed, right? I do kind of focus on the eyes a lot.
Yeah. It's just pure eyes.
Yeah, there you go. You're right. Yeah. So, again, it's intentional. It's like nothing in this fucking book is accidental. So, okay, let me get to the next one. Let's get a fucking move on here. Christ, it's 10 till fucking. Well, we started about 10 minutes late, but all right. Okay, real quick. I'm gonna go over this real quick. This is like, I guess you consider this the prologue, right, or like the introduction.
Yeah. I mean, you call it that.
Yeah. So again, this for the new readers, this just explains kind of what's going on. I wanted to explain, I wanted to kind of fill them in as to this, like the state of the union. This is kind of like a State of the Union speech. You know what I mean? This is like the state of the world. And I have these biblical quotes, which I reword, right? Like this, and the one saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. That actually is a quote from the Bible, but I've just reworded a couple things because I'm kind of paranoid. I don't know. It's not like who's going to sue me, the Pope? You know what I mean? But it's like I didn't want to have exact Bible quotes. I want to change it a little because I looked at it like I'm taking, aspects of Christianity, and I'm kind of turning them, molding them a little bit into my fucking story in this world. You know what I mean? So it's not exact. It's like different.
You're not trying to plagiarize the Bible. You're just taking in the inspiration.
Yeah, I don't want to plagiarize shit. I don't want to.
You'll have King of England come after you.
Yeah,
King Charles.
Yeah, I'd be
He's got the copyright. Remember, he's got the copyright to the King James Bible.
Does he really? I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
the English crown. That
Wow.
family. It's the King James Bible.
Yeah.
So
That's funny.
it's their copyright. It's in their family name. So if they want to discontinue the book, they can.
That's kind of weird. I did not know that. That's some neat info.
This book just isn't working. We're going to discontinue it. And
that's crazy,
that'd be the end
man.
of King James Bible. And then if you got one, it'd be worth a lot of money.
I guess
All
so.
the non-believers be trying to get their hands on that bad boy.
Wow, that would be weird. Yeah. So anyway, so there's the quote. And then this first paragraph, this is everything's fine in the world. See, it says, for years now, the world seems to have flourished. No wars have scarred the lands in decades. The government rules the people with strong but fair hand. General population has prospered, and diversity has been accepted among the many races. That was an inside joke, Tyler, if you didn't catch that. Diversity and inclusion has been accepted among the many races. So that's basically saying how it looks like on the outside. Okay, and then, but in truth, right, a silent hidden darkness, slowly risen, blah, 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 blah. So this just gives this sets the stage. This is setting the stage for the story. That's all this is. So if you got the book, you can fucking read this. I'm not going to read it. Now, this next one, I want to get your opinion on here, Tyler. Okay. Because this is page 1. This is the first page.
This is Genesis 1.
This is the first page of the book. Okay, now, one may think when you're going to have the first page of your visual book, your graphic, you want to have some crazy splash page. It's nuts, all sorts of shit to really draw the reader in. I don't do that at all. What do? I have a black fucking page. There's nothing there. Why would I do that? Is that intentional, or am I dumbass, or both?
Well, you're talking about before creation, before light. So there's nothingness. Right. It's just darkness. It's
exactly.
It's the void.
Exactly right. How there's nothing fucking there. It's blackness and silence. There's nothing that exists. How better to portray that on page one than fucking black? You know what I mean? Now, obviously, I put the words in there, the narration to break up the black, because if you saw just a black page as your page one, you say, who the fuck is this idiot? You know what I mean? So, okay. But that was the point. And I honestly thought of, for a while, I'm like, it can't just be solid black. I have to have like a faded, faint splash of color, almost like, and I'm like, no, dude, there's nothing. It says that it was a fucking void. So do it. So I did. So here you go. So again, I know it's kind of like most people, I guess, wouldn't do that to start off your graphic novel with just a black page and narration.
I mean, it's good. It works.
But it works. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I want, is for it to be understood. All right. So in the beginning, what's that?
With comics and graphic novels, it's kind of interesting when you're doing a classical novel, the rule of thumb is show, don't tell. Okay. And it's kind of a stupid rule, because in a book of text, you can't technically show. It's just telling. Right. Right. But what happens is people will make a bad mistake sometimes. So they will do both. They will show and tell. Really? Yeah. And in a book, that's bad. And so an example would be like basically it would show a scene of me robbing a bank. And then it would turn right around and it would have someone say, yeah, you won't believe it, Tyler robbed a bank. I'm like, really? I'm like, yeah. So what happened was he walked in the bank. It's just, you just regurgitate everything we just read in the previous chapter. Okay. So it's anyway. Point I'm making is with comics and graphic novels, the rule of thumb, I guess, would actually be you're supposed to tell and show at the same time. And that's what you're doing. You're telling the story visually, but you're also telling it with the words. Right. Yeah. And so, as you're saying, it was, the earth was without form, missed the void. Right. Think void, emptiness, darkness, blackness. Right. And it said, and then and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Right. And then if you flip the page, you start seeing the light creep in. Right. And so, yeah, it's all good. It all works.
And, all right, that's cool. And what it says in the one move throughout the void. Okay, this is God. It's that simple. Someone who reviewed the book at a Comic-Con a couple of years ago asked, he said, is God and Satan going to be in the book, as characters? And I said, God already is. I said he was on the first page. I said, he's that little sphere of light, that little orb that's floating around. I said, that is my representation of God. He's this sphere of light, a bright light, and that's all you get right now. That's how he's moving around right now. He's this orb of glowing light. Okay, so technically, this is God coming into the void, and it's upon the face of the waters. Okay, so I added a little reflection down there of, you can see this sphere is traveling over black water. So again, it's like you can't add much because he hasn't created light yet. All you've got is darkness, and now you've got water, but there's no light, so it's black water. So a bright light on water in the darkness, this is the only reflection you're going to have. If you've ever been out at night, this is how it fucking looks. You know what I mean? So it was like I had to stick to stick to my guns and say, no, man, it has to be all black. You know what I mean? There's no fucking light. It has to be this way. And I just don't want to. I'm waiting for criticism from someone to say the opening was so boring and it's all black. I'm just like, man, that's what the whole fucking point of the beginning is. You know what I mean? And so as you can see, but then, okay, boom. So yeah, we finally got light. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, a question, because what I would like to do one day, I don't know if I'll be able to or not, but one day I would like to at least try to redo the majority of this book, because I am not satisfied with it, because a lot of these drawings I did 10 fucking years ago for the book, and I'm a lot better now. And everything I can see is better now, like my setup and everything. So this picture of this is basically the Big Bang, I guess, in a way. I mean, kind of, it's let there be light. So there's this huge fucking explosion. Okay. I kept it all white, there's no color in there. Yeah. Now, years later, I'm looking at like, you know what? It wouldn't have hurt if I added a few more colors, some blues and some golds and maybe a fucking purple or you know what I mean? What do you think? Should I keep it this bright white, or would a little bit of color here and there work or help or something?
Nah, I'd keep it the way it is.
Really? Cool. All right. Well, I don't have to fuck with that page then.
Technically, white light is all the colors.
Yeah,
so you got all the colors in there.
And it's the brightest. But again, this is where we go to the whole graphic novel. It's a visual thing. It's like, okay, well, maybe a little bit of color light in there. I would keep it mostly white, but I'm talking about like maybe in like a single line in the corner that's like a gold or a blue. You know what I'm saying? But it may fuck it up. I don't know. I've never tried it, but I'm just like, should I add different colors in there or not?
I mean, if there's anything that you could do that I think could make it possibly better,
right?
Keep the original explosion of white, and then just add a new image entirely, which would be basically a slightly different version of it with colors and the white toned down. That way,
like this is the initial explosion, and then the explosion's starting to fade.
Yeah, so it's blinding white, and then as it fades, you then see the colors.
The color, that's cool. So it'd be basically a second panel of the light explosion. Yeah, that's cool.
So think of it like an atomic bomb.
Okay, Danny says to leave it like this.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so both of you are saying keep it white. Okay.
Yeah, like
would you say atomic bomb?
Yeah, think about like an atomic bomb. You have the initial flash. It's just a blinding white light. But then as it fades down and that flash is gone, then you see the giant fireball,
orange,
and all
red.
the red and orange color.
You're right.
And so
okay.
But in this case, I guess it would be kind of like space. So it'd be like galaxy clouds of green and purple or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. And then the next one, again, it's still fucking boring, because again, I'm like, okay, so there's light now in the sky, and there's fucking water, and that's it. There's no land yet. There's no mountains and trees and shit. So I'm like, well, I don't know what the hell else to do except this. You know what I mean? It's just like it almost like the beginning almost kind of threw me. Like there's not a whole lot to show when you start this way,
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
Life's a big thing. Big things have small beginnings.
Yeah, I mean, and again, that's the whole point to this beginning this way is, and again, you're a novelist, so you've obviously read more books than me, because I fucking draw and write more than I read. You know what I mean?
No way, man. I don't read.
You really?
Yeah, I don't like reading.
For real?
Yeah, I hate
you don't
reading.
Like really?
Only stuff I've read are indie books that are self-published.
No way.
I have never read a single traditionally published book.
Holy shit. We had to in school. I mean, I had to read.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've read like Clifford the Big Red Dog. But I'm talking about like an actual like novel.
Really? Yeah, we had to read A Farewell to Arms by Ernest Hemingway. I actually liked Ernest Hemingway. I did a report on Ernest Hemingway, his Code Hero, which not ironically, I use in my fucking book now. There is one particular character who I would say is a code hero in this book. Maybe more, probably more, because I tend to I like a certain type of character, I'll have more than one of that kind of person. You know what I mean? Because they got to hang out with someone like that. You know what I mean? But Ernest Hemingway's Code Hero was kind of like, I guess, in my opinion, the first anti-hero. You know, you hear about like in the Marvel movies, oh, there's anti-heroes. He's a protagonist, but he's a bad guy. He's a good guy in black. Or, you've heard of the fucking anti-hero thing, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay. The Code Hero from Ernest Hemingway decades ago, and I mean decades ago, to me was kind of like the first Code Hero because he was the hero, but he was usually a drinker, often an alcoholic, a smoker, a womanizer, wasn't, if they were married, they weren't loyal.
Sounds like 007.
My kind of guy. Dude, Code Heroes, my kind of fucking characters. And the women, the same. Male and female Code Heroes, same kind of people. But they were rare. And so what happens in Ernest Hemingway books is the male Code Hero and the female Code Hero, who are they're loners because society isn't that way. Most people aren't alcoholic drinkers, smokers, twisted on the inside. So these Code Heroes are very loners. They're like almost like outcast themselves, they remove themselves. So when a male and a female meet, it's like instant love. Holy shit. My soulmate. Oh, we're the same. And that's kind of the romance part. But ironically, it usually ends tragically because that's how Ernest Hemingway was. But anyways, the Code Hero is, to me, the good guy in black. It's just how it is. And how the fuck did I get to this? What was I talking about? God, you see what I'm talking about? Now I'm out to Mars again. Wrote me back to Earth. How did I get to the Code Hero? What was I talking about?
Well, we was talking about how you were starting off starting off this story, and it was really simple.
Right. I'm sorry, man. I'm laughing because my brother has dealt with this forever. I'll go off and he has to wrangle me back. That's how I know if someone's listening to me or not, and you clearly are. Okay, so fuck. See, this is what happens. See? Okay, so whatever. Fucking Code Hero. Back to the book. Okay. So simple, yeah. There's not a whole lot you can fucking do.
And by the way, a protagonist is just the main character. That doesn't mean you're good.
Doesn't mean you're good. Okay. Because you hear antagonist,
like in the movie Joker. Joker's the protagonist.
Really?
He's the main character.
Okay.
That's what the movie's about. It's
okay, because he's the main character.
Yeah, but he's the villain.
I always thought protagonist was the good guy and antagonist was the bad guy.
No, the protagonist is just the perspective that the story is given. And the antagonist is just the person who gets in the way.
Gotcha.
So if you had a story about literally the Joker and his goal is to blow up Gotham City, that's your story. And he's the protagonist. The antagonist is Batman.
Oh, interesting. So it's like role reversal. Yeah.
And almost in a way, that's actually how Dark Knight Rises is.
Really?
Like, it seems like most people who went to see that movie, they were rooting for Heath Ledger's Joker. They weren't they weren't rooting for Batman. Batman was just this nuisance in the way. Where are they? I don't care, man. Get out of the way. I want to see Joker.
You know what? Like I said, I'm not into superhero movies at all. I'm not into any of that shit. But that movie was fucking cool because I saw it in
theaters.
I saw it in theater too with the girlfriend. I was in San Francisco, I think I was living, and I thought it was fucking cool. I had to like Batman because I knew he's the hero. And he was fucking cool. He was badass. He wasn't, Mr. Goody. You could see he was dark. Okay. But I fell in love with Heath Ledger as Joker. And I'm like, is it bad that I want to see him more than Batman on screen? You know what I mean? He was so fucking good. I'm like, we need more scenes of him, It was weird.
Another example would be American Psycho.
All right.
And that. Yeah, I mean that.
I need to though. I've had lots of people. You haven't seen America? No, I have to fucking see it. Obviously.
Okay, well, basically, you got a main character who is a psychopathic murderer guy. He's just crazy, just running around like he's clearly a villain,
Right.
but he's the protagonist.
Yeah, because he's the main character.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for clearing that up, because I've always thought protagonist meant good, pro as in the good guy, and antagonist, anti was like the bad guy. But if it's a main character in a opposition, then it can be either or. So that's kind of cool. Well, awesome. All right. So as you can see, okay, so now there's light, which means there's this sun is there, and there's stars and the moon and all this shit. And I'm showing this transition to darkness, right? Okay.
And this is where my only question comes in.
Oh, well, ask away.
Because
Yes.
it says, and the one divided the light from the darkness.
Right.
And then you flip the page, and then it just says,
Oh,
darkness.
That's the catch, Tyler. I shall explain why. I shall explain why. Do you see the second panel, middle?
Yeah.
Do you see the thing I'm circling right here?
Yeah, the Mothman.
That's Satan. Okay?
Yeah.
That is a shadowy image of Satan. And it's funny. Yeah, you said Mothman. Ironically,
This is West Virginia.
yeah, you're
That's
right.
where the darkness is.
The cryptids, yeah. Okay. This, I wanted to be a symbolic, ghostly image. It's like not actually there. I wanted to show that Satan exists on this earth, even though God just created it. He's starting to appear. Okay. And I wanted to be subtle enough. And I remember the first time I printed it, you could barely see him. I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm like, how do I fuck it? So I had to fuck with the contrast a little bit and all this shit. And it's like, okay,
dark enough.
but not too dark. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's one of the fun things of going from a digital screen to an actual print.
right,
Some things fade in and out.
right. This is actually, let me see. Give me a minute to find it here. Like I said, Satan is not called Satan in the book. He's called Sekka, S-E-K-K-A. I rename everything. Okay. So it's still a 2-syllable word that begins with S. Satan, Sekka, very similar, right? So
We're going with Santa.
Santa, yeah, exactly right.
Same letters.
Same letters, yep. I'm trying to find a picture. Where the fuck did this go? This always happens here. I have so many goddamn pictures.
But you was talking about this long section at the beginning being the prologue.
Right.
I kind of like visually, I consider this whole, retelling of Genesis as the prologue. Like this whole in the beginning, the earth, the explosion, the void, the darkness. That feels like the prologue.
Okay.
Because I mean,
yeah. Okay. You're right. No, you're right. So that inside cover page is what would that be called? Summary.
If anything, what's on your inside page is sort of like on a novel, what would be on the very back cover, which is called a blurb.
The blurb, okay.
So on the back cover, you look on the back and it says, Harry Potter is a young boy who went to this place. Right. And it's basically the summary of the story.
Right.
And that's kind of what this is. It's not exactly, you're not getting a summary but it's letting you in on what's going on.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
But then after that, you actually get to chapter 1.
Yeah, exactly right. So the like you said, the prologue is like that whole Genesis part. And chapter 1 is actually labeled chapter 1.
Yeah, in a novel, what you would have is something like, it would say prologue, and then it would be like, 59 years ago there was a great war, and these people died, and this kingdom took over, and now they're the ruling champs. and then chapter 1, and then you meet your cast, and they're like, oh yeah, we live in this place, and you're like, hey, I know that place. I just read about in the prologue. Apparently they rule the world now.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and the only reason you know that is because you read the prologue.
Right. Okay. This is the picture I was trying to fucking find. Okay. So if you look at the if you look at the page we were just talking about, right?
Yeah.
This is what this is. Okay. This is a clear image of it. So again, this is basically a statue of Sekka, which is Satan. And again, redesigned upside down pentagram. You know what I mean? It's obviously very satanic, but it's not exactly satanic. You know what I mean?
It's your own version.
It's my own version. Yes, it's my version of Satanism. Kind of like the angels and everything about them is my version of Christianity.
Yeah.
But it's so fucking obvious. That's the whole point. I want it to be obvious. You know what I'm saying? I want it to look like Christianity, Satan, all this stuff. So that image in the book is this, okay? And it actually is this statue of him, and this is on hell, a plane of hell. And these are the dead and the twisted souls reaching up to him. And they're actually, I don't know if you can actually see it. I really detailed it.
Yeah, there's little hands.
Yeah, and they've clawed the base here. See the claw marks?
Okay.
Okay. So you get the idea.
They want to be his friend.
Yeah, they're worshiping him, but yet at the same time they're trying to claw their way out of hell, basically. Okay. This is based off The Exorcist as well, and I'll try to fucking find that. But the statue of the demon Pazuzu in The Exorcist, I looked at and researched and said, okay, I've got to redesign this statue because I want to use this for the fucking book. And let me see if I can find it. Damn it. Oh, God, here we go. Yeah. Let me show you this shit. Here we go. That. Oh, fuck. I got to blow that shit up. Oh, fuck. Pixelated as hell. A little bit better. Can you see that?
Yeah, I see it.
All right.
I can see it when you had it zoomed in.
That's even better. Okay. So this is the statue in The Exorcist. And so as you can see, I definitely modeled mine after it. I just changed it. You know
they took some influence off of the Baphomet.
Right.
But they mixed like the Baphomet with kind of like almost, it looks kind of like a Sumerian kind of thing.
Yeah.
God.
And you can obviously you can buy this exact statue on Amazon, because people,
it's movie memorabilia kind of stuff.
Movie memorabilia, right? And there's little ones, there's big ones, and all this stuff. And you can research Pazuzu and all this, everything about him as the demon and blah blah blah. So, anyways, I basically just wanted to say that this panel here of basically the image of Sekka, as in Satan, this symbolizes he is coming to earth. Okay. The page before, God just came zipping by. The sun sets. Now it's darkness. And so when darkness comes,
in the absence of God, Satan appears.
Exactly right. He is the darkness. He rises out of the darkness. That's why I reiterated the darkness, because and the one divide the light from the darkness, dot, and then it reinstates it again, the darkness, as in, you get it, God is...
Like a double entendre. It means two things.
Exactly right. And so that's the whole fucking point of that. So anyways.
It's a literal separation of light and darkness, and a spiritual or metaphysical separation.
Right. So far, this whole prologue it makes sense to you? Is there anything off? Is there anything that
That's all good. Yeah, I get it.
All right. So then we get to, all right, we're at an hour 20 minutes. So we'll probably do about 10 more minutes, and then we'll probably start to kind of close this up because we'll go at we're at like the hour and a half. We're getting to the hour and a half mark. So as you can see, chapter 1, and again, it's all fucking, like I had to draw these fucking letters, this shit.
It's like robotic calligraphy.
Yeah, here, let me show you. I was drawing it at this scale. I was like this, fucking drawing these lines in Photoshop and shit like that. And if you look, it looks like mechanical, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Why is that? Why do you think?
Why do I think it looks that way? Or
Why did I specifically design this?
Why did you choose that?
And if you look at the lettering of the title,
yeah, it's all
same
way.
Stuff. Okay. Why would some weird fucking mechanical technological shit be in this fucking book, Tyler?
I have no idea.
Good. Keep it that way. You'll get the answer, but not yet. Not for a while. But I'm glad you're confused. But there is a fucking reason. There's a good reason. There's a purpose for it. It's just, it will slowly,
Only thing I could think of is like the power of the heavens and hell and demonic and all that. It's actually all rooted in technological advances. And as society is becoming more technologically advanced,
right,
it shows that people think that the world is becoming more atheistic and distant from the spiritual, but because it's becoming more technological, it's actually becoming more spiritual. It's getting more in tune with the spiritual world, which is actually more technologically advanced. It doesn't necessarily mean that humanity is drawn closer to heaven. If heaven and hell both have an advanced, technologically advanced element to them, it just so you could be drawn closer to the angels, closer to the devil, whatever. But either way, you're still drawn towards a technologically advanced cybernetic computer, whatever, that sort of thing.
That's cool. Yeah, that's
my guess. I don't know. Just spitball.
That's a possibility. Yeah, that was a possibility. Someone, this was amazing. It was during the first campaign, and the first campaign, that was like the one you saw. And like your book cover. Show the cover of your book real quick. Okay, that angel there.
Yeah.
That's when I did that picture. That demon wasn't there. I later drew that demon and added him to this picture to make this fucking cover. The actual drawing is just a fucking angel, right? So I used to post that picture. I don't post anymore because it's old, and I'm like, okay, I'll go. Someone in comics, one of the fucking indie guys, commented on that picture, and he said, "Is this CGI or AI? Did you draw it? Is this AI?" And I was like, "AI?" I said, "No, fuck, I draw this. I drew this too. This is like Photoshop and hand drawn, all sorts of crap." He's like, "It looks like it's AI," and I'm like, "All right, well, thanks, I guess, because I guess that means it's kind of good, right?" I mean, what would you see that? Would you be insulted or complimented if someone said that when it came to artwork? Write a book, this book's like AI. You're like, fuck you. It makes AI books don't make sense, but imagery, everyone's seen AI imagery, right?
Yeah. I think the reason they assumed it was AI is because you've got it looks like a clash of different arts together. Like
different sorts of medias.
Yeah, so you've got
the
wings of the angel and the silhouetted face and the hair. That's all very 2D and flat.
Yeah.
Then you've got the armor. It all looks hyper 3D. Like it was digitally added. So it looks like it's two different things. It looks like it was a two-dimensional drawing, just a flat paper drawing of
Right.
angel wings and everything, and
Mhm.
then you digitally imposed some type of 3D model of shining armor onto it.
Wow, that's cool. It's kind of true. Like I said, as you know, my technique, I draw a pencil and then pen, and then I scan it, and then I Photoshop. Back then, when I did that drawing, I was not as skilled as I am now with that technique of pen to scan to Photoshop to finished product. Now I'm a lot better at it, so I don't get the whole "is this AI" crap anymore. But I took it as a backhanded compliment. I'm like, okay, well, I guess it's good because it thinks it's AI. However,
If someone
thinks
said
it's AI.
if someone said, if I showed a drawing and they were like, "Is that AI?" I was like, "What do you say? I can't draw hands."
But now
my hands aren't that bad. I got
fucking AI.
There's only 5 fingers.
Right, AI. Everyone knows that AI fucks up hands, right?
You look for hands and look for teeth.
But then right after that, the question he said, "Are these angels robots?" And I was like, I'm not going to answer that. That's fucking weird. I'm like, I never thought of that. I'm like, he really fucked up. That would talk about a twist. If you go through like this story, 2, 3, 4, all these chapters and all this shit, and then you find out that the angels are actually like artificial, like they're basically robots, like fucking machines.
Yeah,
that would be really twisted, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you could do a cool story. Could be something like well, hold on. Before I say that, have you ever heard of a story called Vampire Hunter D?
No.
Okay, well, it's a Japanese novel series. It's still going. It's like 30 novels long or something. I don't know. And anyway, in that story, there was like a nuclear apocalypse in the year 1999, and the whole world was destroyed.
Right.
And the survivors were like, "Man, we survived, but the whole world's screwed. This is terrible, but fuck it. Well, at least we're still alive. What?
Yeah.
Not like it could get any worse." And then it did, because there was actually all these secret vampires hiding underground, and they finally could come out in the nuclear holocaust, and they took over the world.
Wow.
And then 10,000 years passed, and they destroyed the world too.
Wow.
And then the story begins.
That's
cool. The idea is that when you're reading the story, you're reading a story that takes place 10,000 years after the year 1999.
Okay. Wow.
So think about that. Like we think like, oh, we're in the year 2024. We're in the present, or some might even say we're in the future because we look back at all the past. But people rarely consider that we're living in the past.
Right. Yeah.
And so think about how much time is, ahead of us. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying, you're talking about cyborg angels and everything. You could also go the other way and try to really consider just how much time actually has passed. So maybe kind of lean into like the super advanced ancient people like Atlantis or something.
Right.
And like maybe humans left the Earth and they just went way out in space. And they're so far they can't get back to us, but they're way out there and they've been advancing all this time. And the only thing they could do was they had like robots, and they sent the robots back to the Earth to kind of watch over the Earth, explore the Earth, whatever.
Right.
And then for whatever reason, they just kind of abandoned humanity and they just started following their own AI.
Yeah.
And then turns out they first started showing up here on the Earth around 3000 BC. Yeah. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So maybe there was an advanced human race 20,000 years ago and they left. And then they sent their cyborgs and whatever start showing up around 3000 years or 3000 BC. 5,000 years ago, and people thought they were angels.
Right.
And so
but you see how just simply asking, is that a robot? Are these angels robot? just that fucking question sets you off like 5 fucking different directions as a writer. And I'm like, yeah, I gotta answer. I answered him. I said something like, wouldn't that be something? You know, like I you know what I mean? I just was like, I didn't say yes or no or nothing. I said, wow, that would be something.
That's why in elementary school teachers give writing prompts. They come up with just some random thing. They're like, you're in a fair and a giant monster shows up. And the only thing you have to, you know, you have a bicycle and a sword. Mm-hmm. That's all you get. And then, you know, like, now tell a story.
Yeah.
And it incentivizes kids to just use their imagination. And just
it's like a setup for a short story. It's a sunny day and you're taking a walk and you notice something on the edge of the woods on the side of the road. And so you look at it and you see a dead, rotting corpse of a young naked girl. Now what? And you're like, wow, okay, well, shit, I can write this. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what this whole "are they robots" question threw before. I was just like,
I didn't consider that.
Obviously, they're not. I hate to ruin it for anybody, but they're not fucking robots. You know, they're actual. You know, but
he thought that maybe because of the glowing eyes.
I think so. I think he thought it because of the glowing eyes and the black face. You know, because I'm like, I probably should have shaded the face more, because even though I wanted it to look kind of, the problem is, it's like, okay, I want him to be kind of silhouetted, shadowed, but the armor is so bright. I'm like, how would that fucking work? You know what I mean? And so again,
logically, it doesn't work.
I did that drawing like 5-6 years ago,
but it's all good.
I wasn't where I was now when it came to this kind of shit. The improvement I have happens like every few months. It's weird, dude. I'm like, you know, you think, oh, I know everything. I'm too old. No, fuck, you're never too old. I'm still improving my stuff. I can't believe it. But anyways, it was neat how it made my mind go in all these different directions. And it actually, you know, like I said, I'm not, you know, they're not robots, but it kind of made me think about some stuff. And I'm like, it would make sense, actually. It would make sense, you know, I don't know. But anyways, back to what the fuck I was doing. See, Tyler, my mind is just constantly.
So anyway, the start of chapter 1.
I get lost. Start of chapter 1. Real simple. At the start, color coded. The demons fucking chapters are red. Red is demons. Blue is angels. Humans are purple. It's just that. I set up, okay, the land of Norgeria. So this is the continent, okay? It's in the city of Vegalis, which is Las Vegas. Literally, it's just reworded, like Satan and Santa. I literally just switched letters around. So the city of Vegalis is based on Las Vegas. It's early autumn. This 1199 common year thing, this is actually a D&D thing, Tyler. Common year is in D&D, old school D&D, the year, the age where it takes place. They just call it common year. And they have like different, like elves have elven year and dwarves have dwarven year. And so all the histories are different and shit. But the average human, the date is called, like how we say BC and AC, you know, before Christ, after Christ. In D&D, they just call it common year because it's common. It's real simple. So I just said, okay, I'm grabbing that. I'm going to this is based on D&D. So I'm just going to keep that. However, the catch is the 99. Because this is kind of based on 1999 in reality, in our time. And the whole fucking book is that way. So when it goes to, you know, 1200 common year, that's basically based on 2000. Okay. That's in what's going on in reality. So a lot of events, political bullshit that was happening back then is going to happen in the book. Not all of it, but it may reference. Does that make sense? It may reference to that.
It's inspired.
Yeah. So again, I didn't know if you knew that, but yeah, the dates are based on. Hey, I think they're muted.
Me?
Oh, I didn't hear you for a second.
Yeah, I'm here.
Maybe it's. Are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Whoa, dude, no, I think, hold on.
I'm here.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Okay, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I've been hearing you for just fine.
Wow, that was a trip. What's going on? I think there's something in this fucking apartment besides you and me, brother. This thing's getting weird here.
You like all your
So anyways,
stuff, man.
I think so. I think well, that'd be cool if I conjured one. It'd be a fun fucking night for me. Let me tell you, it wouldn't be boring.
You're gonna go to the bathroom in the middle of the night and see a girl crawling around backwards.
Okay. No,
Fuck me. Like, no, I just gotta pee. Just call
I'll
morning.
pass. Tempting, but no. So that's the whole date thing. So that's just something else for you to be aware of, is that it's kind of based on that. And then okay, this obviously I'm not going to read, but this is basically like headline news, right? The Desert Sun Report.
Breaking news.
Yeah, it's like a town crier kind of message board thing. But it's equivalent to a fucking newspaper. And so it talks about the Alliance emissary visiting the Gallus, and it talks about that. That's a big deal. Crime increasing with rise in poverty. So, okay, so the people are getting poor and fucking crime's rising. This was interesting. Ranged weapons under fire. Okay, now you know what this is based on, man?
No, what?
Do you think of what this is based on politically in our reality?
I mean, I'm guessing like if it's 1999, it would be something like Desert Storm. Something
It was the whole they're coming for our guns. The whole government's coming for our guns. That's been going around for a while. You know what I mean? They're trying to take our guns, So I'm like, I got to put that in here because it's showing that the government and the military are starting to slowly become tyrannical, more dictatorial. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not the fair, government military that it was on the inside cover, saying, "Oh, everything's great and fair." But now they're starting to creep into the whole. Okay, well, I think we're going to collect, long range weapons from the people, so they don't fucking shoot us from a distance. So I kind of threw that in there, and then the Church of Eternal Light is dimming. This is basically just saying people are losing faith. And we've seen that. I've seen that for at least 20 years, probably more. The church is not as popular anymore. When I was young, growing up, everyone went to church. Fucking everyone went to church on Sunday. If you don't go to church on Sunday, there's something wrong with you. You're a bad person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As time goes on, the church is not as popular as it was. And it's just people aren't attending church as much, And so that's just simply going with this whole story. It's like, okay, the people are losing faith in the church, which means that the evil is starting to kind of win. People are losing faith, question stuff that makes the evil and the demons have more opportunity. They're getting a little bit stronger. That's just kind of setting the mood for it. That's all this shit means. Did you get that when you read that or not?
It's been a while since I read all that, so
That's
I don't
fine.
remember the details of it.
That's cool, but it's there to read as long as
I read it the first time, and then since then, like I've went back and actually read through your book. But when I went back the second time, I skipped
that
both of these too long chunks of text.
Okay, that's cool. It's easy to do. It's just that some people. There was one guy who read the book who actually said he's like, you need more narration and dialogue. I'm like, well, a lot of the characters aren't, chatty Cathy's. They don't talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I said that's kind of why I try to make up for it with shit like that page. It's like, okay, well, there's your fucking info. There's your narration. There's your, there's no dialogue, but there's a hell of a lot of info for you to read. There really isn't much dialogue in this first book, I try to make up for it with shit.
I don't read a whole lot of comics, but from what I understand, most people who do enjoy reading comics, they don't care to read comics. If you know what I'm saying, like
they don't like a lot of dialogue.
Yeah. So if
Yeah.
you've got a whole page,
Mhm.
you know, if you got a whole page and it's like a dude here,
Right.
and then you've got like an 8-inch wide bubble of just paragraph, like not gonna like it.
It's annoying, yeah, especially when you use the fucking word bubbles because it's all crammed in there and small and all that shit. And so again, that's another reason why, as you'll see, you know, I don't do that. So this image, this sets up, you know, the Gallus. This is fucking the skyline of Las Vegas. I got a good picture off the fucking internet, and I studied it, and then I was like, "Yep, there we go." So I do. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I don't know what YouTube's rules are about artwork, but I mean, you keep clicking through here. I don't know what YouTube, how they'll feel about it.
I'm not showing the next 3 pages.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask.
I'm getting there. I prepared in advance for that. But yeah, I don't want to get my channel fried. But this is just the setup, and as you can see. Here's the city. It's a hot, blazing desert, you know, oranges and reds. I want it to look like fucking hot. You know what I mean? And
it definitely gives the desert impression.
Good. That's the whole intent. And you're zooming into one of the towers here. And of course, here's the top, you know, part of that tower. And there's a little party going on up there.
It was funny. When I got to that, I saw it and I was like, that looks like sex. But you know, I'm probably just being a pervert.
They're wrestling, Tyler.
And then they're just the page. And I was like, oh, I was right.
They're wrestling. They're playing hide the salami. That's what they're doing. So yeah, there's some shit going on. For 3 pages.
We were talking about dialogue, and you said somebody said you didn't have chapter 1. There is no dialogue.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's just. You're telling a story visually. I
try to do that more in this book than any other stuff that I would do, or like I think a lot of the other comic guys do. They do have a lot of dialogue and narration. I want more art than dialogue and narration. You know what I'm saying? I want the pictures to be big. I like this horizontal layout, 3 panels to a page. You know.
Well, I mean, for me personally, when I'm looking through a comic or a graphic novel, I kind of I'll rush through it and then I'll feel guilty when I get to the end because I'm like, I didn't look at any of that artwork.
Oh,
I just read the speech bubbles and here I am. And
you can't do that with us.
Yeah. And so it's actually good on your part because it forces me to actually look at your artwork. You know.
Okay, cool.
And any artist. You know, drawing artist, that's the whole point. You're trying to get people to look at your drawings. And if you put a speech bubble, I'm just, you know, zipping from bubble to bubble.
Yeah. And that's the whole point. Like, you know, you are a novelist, so all your pages are words. You know what I mean? I'm a visual storyteller. I'm a graphic novelist. So to me, the whole thing is like, what? Tell the story with fucking pictures. That's the whole goddamn point. I'm not saying don't have narration dialogue because I love narration dialogue. You have to have it. Fucking no one's gonna know what the fuck is going on. But try as much as you can to tell the story visually. Like, see how much of the story you can tell with pictures and no words. See how much you can, and then add the narration and words where necessary. So that's kind of what I try to do. And like you said, this whole chapter 1, there's no narration or dialogue or anything. It's just the imagery, and you know, that's that. So
we get some in chapter 2, but then once you get to chapter 3, there's just the initial introduction of one character. He says, quote, fuck.
Right.
Then there's one line. Well, actually, there's another line. He's talking to the wolf.
Yeah.
But then there's one line of narration.
Right.
And then at the very end, there's one more line where they get home. And that's it. It's mostly just artwork for chapter 3.
Right.
So chapter 2 is the only word esque
dialogue. There's
Yeah.
because it's a conversation.
dialogue and narration.
Right. And I'll get to that here in a minute. So anyways, this just sets up, and then the next 3 pages, as you know, is the graphic shit, which I don't want to risk showing. However,
You skip over it.
I've edited a picture that summarizes it. And this basically summarizes.
That's the last image in the chapter.
Yeah, this is the last picture of the chapter, and I cropped it. You see more here. But this basically explains kind of, okay, this gives you the what the fuck happened in the last 3 pages. So yeah, and that's it for chapter 1, and bam, we're at chapter 2, Blue Angels. Okay, now the Great Lakeland region, Tyler. Any guesses where this is?
The Great Lakeland region?
Yeah,
I mean,
in the
Great
United
Lakes,
States, in modern day. There you go, bam, it's the Great Lakes, dude. You ever heard of Lake Huron? Huron by Michigan, Lake Huron.
I don't know I've never been up there, so I don't know the lakes too well.
No, okay. Well, there's a lake called Lake Huron because the Huron was an Indian tribe. Huron. Okay. I just said heron, like a heron, like a fucking bird. I renamed fucking everything, dude. So this next chapter takes place near the Great Lakes in Michigan. So like the tip of the northern peninsula of Michigan.
You're near like almost Canadian border.
Yeah. And so and this is why, okay, in this book, I did not include map, right? A friend of mine told me, dude, you need to fucking make a map for these books. Like the first one was done, and he's like, you need to make a fucking map. I'm like, why the fuck didn't I think of that? I'm like, I've been playing D&D since I was 12 years old, drawing maps.
Fantasy world, man, they like maps.
This guy didn't even know about D&D. He's the country musician singer, fucking redneck, drinking. Dude, he didn't know any of this shit. And he was like, you need a fucking map, detail, like showing where everyone is. And I was just like, this is why I love people. This is why I like talking to people. Because I should have thought of that years ago, and I didn't. I was like, this fucking drinking redneck motherfucker tells me you need a map.
He probably drunk too.
Now, guess what I did? I made 2 fucking maps. So volume 2 has 2 maps in it. The first, actually, the page 1 and page 2 are the fucking maps, okay? Because it's necessary, because this is obviously based on North America, okay? And, we've established that, okay, this crazy graphic scene happened based on in the region where Las Vegas is, which is the Western Desert. Okay, so that's like West Coast area. All right, now we're way the fuck over by the Great Lakes. So you see what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, wow, there's a lot of fucking miles between these 2 locations. So when he was like, you need to make a fucking map and have it charted so that the reader says, okay,
better visualize the distance.
Right. Here's where the angels appear. Here's where this fucker got killed by this demon, and here's where this happens. And then he's like, as the story advances, change the map, like have routes, as in, okay, the characters went from here to here, and they went from here to. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And I was like, God damn, that's good, dude. And so I fucking did that. So in volume 2, what I'm doing now, I have that. So, but for this volume 1. This is based on the area of Michigan. So here you got your trees and your blue sky and your sun and all the fucking good shit. And this is the first angel appearing. And this is, again, in this book, what you assume is the main guy.
Yeah, he certainly seems like he's the leader.
And that's intentional, because he is leader-like. He's just not the top-ranking guy. He's, like I said, second or like third in command. But he's very big. He's like 6'1", big guy. I kind of picture him Schwarzenegger-ish. You know what I mean? I kind of made his face kind of that way. I picture him, like that, like whatever, that whole Nordic region. Like maybe Denmark, Sweden, that kind of person. That's how I picture it. And so another thing to note, Vichy, the composer, mentioned this. This chapter here, where it's all sunny and blue sky and pretty and nice, sunshine and rainbows, and little babies are laughing in the distance and all this shit. This is as good as it gets. It goes all fucking downhill from here. What's that?
I said the birds are just soaring through the air.
Right. Okay, you see what I'm saying? And you get that, right? This is almost too happy, wouldn't you say? It's almost like
shitty desert to a place that's worth a damn.
Again, but it's intentional. I mean, it's intentional because this is the turning point. Like, the readers don't know this, but this is as good as it gets. It's as good as it's ever going to get. This is the moment where the angels start to arrive on the planet, and the demons have not activated their fucking shit yet. That actually they just did. Killing that dude in the previous chapter, that was step 1. And then after this, they do step 2 and 3 and just keep, okay. So I had to make this look nice and happy and pretty and colorful and shiny and all that stuff. Because I'm like, this is the good part of the story. It slowly decays and darkens with every fucking chapter and book. It just keeps going that way.
This is the earth unsoiled.
Again, this is they say, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. That famous quote?
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is. And from here on, it never goes back to being this good. So I wanted to make sure this is nice and happy and bright. And now the other thing, Tyler, that I'm going to mention, you said the birds in the sky, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a reason why there's 3 of them. Why do you think there'd be 3 of them?
Well, it's because I guess we have 3 angels appearing.
They symbolize the angels' arrival. These are doves. Okay. I had to fucking, if you zoom in, you can kind of tell. But these are basically doves, right? So when an angel arrives, there is a dove that appears with them.
Oh, okay. I was thinking they appear as doves and then they transform into their angel forms.
No. This is the whole animal totem thing. What the fuck? When the fuck did I explain that? There must have been. Oh, I had a video, I don't know, 2-3 videos ago, where I was talking about the trading cards. In a trading card video, I explained about the demons' animal totems. How every demon has an animal totem for them, right? The angels really don't have that. Their animal totems are these doves, right? So it's, a dove for every angel that appears on earth. So sometimes you'll see a dove in the background or in the sky or something. All that's doing is it's symbolizing an angel has arrived. And so that's why specifically there's 3 in the sky, because each symbol symbolizes the first 3 angels who's arrived. And you mentioned the Elandis, right? He's not here, but he's coming up. He's that 3rd dove. You know what I mean? So that's something that I wasn't sure if you're aware of or not. So he sees her appear behind him, and voila, there she is. So that's his sister, so to speak, his soul sister, man, his soul sister. Now, Tyler, one last thing. You see that picture in your book of her?
Yes, I'm flipping with you. So while you're doing that, I'm always looking down here at the book.
Look at her face in your book.
Yeah.
And look at it here on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Difference? 2 days ago, I changed her whole fucking face, dude. I redrew her whole face like 2 days ago.
Yeah, she's not smiling in my book.
Right. And dude, the face looks like shit in that book. It's like that was one of the first things I wanted to change. I'm like, I have to redraw her fucking face. She doesn't look like this innocent, pretty angel. Yeah, like she looks like an older woman, like not happy at all, right? And the lips were really dark. You know what I mean? So, anyways, if you look at this one, what do you think? Better? I'll zoom in. I think it's better. A lot better. Because she looks more young and innocent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So unfortunately, you don't have that version, but I just
in
did
my book. In my book, she looks like she has a resting bitch face.
Yeah.
She's like, man, I don't want to be here.
Exactly right. And that's not.
I'm too close to Canadians.
And this is. That's funny. This is the whole thing where that drawing in your book, I drew that like 10 years ago. If you look, that's colored with markers, right? I was coloring with markers back then. There was very little digital. The only digital I was doing was the reflections of the light on the armor. All this fucking shit was markers, okay? I have improved with my illustration techniques from 10 years ago to now a lot more because, 2 days ago, I looked at the face and I'm like, I have to change this now. And I fucking did. And this new face is how I pictured her originally. I wasn't able to do it with just pen and marker back then. I've improved enough where I'm like, wow, now I can draw a female angel face the way I pictured it. So it's just me basically patting myself on the fucking back. So I don't mean to do that, but if you look at the faces, especially the women in the book, I obviously I'm not that great at making female faces look really pretty, and a lot of artists are just perfect. They just like fucking sketch up a perfect face, and you're like, how the fuck do you do that? I can't do it for some fucking reason. To me, female faces are a pain in the ass to draw, but I have improved, and this is proof. So, volume 2, the female faces look a hell of a lot better in volume 2 than they do in the first book. So, I just wanted to get that off my chest.
I'm not too good at drawing females either.
It sucks, dude. Their bodies are so, it's like they're curvy but not too curvy. They're angled but not too angled. There has to be this like perfect fucking balance for them to look attractive. And the slightest thing that's off, they look fucking like shit. It's amazing. It's like if the nose is too big, if the mouth's too big, it's just amazing. So, what were you pointing at?
I'm wiping my eyeball.
Oh, are you all right? Like I said, dude, it's been almost 2 hours, so we're gonna wrap this up because you look like you're tired. You look like you're about to go to sleep, and I don't want to keep you up.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm good.
Are you having an allergic reaction or something? Because you're really rubbing your eyes.
No, I need to get a fucking haircut. My
hair
is right in my eyes.
Hair's in your
Getting
eyes.
in my eyes.
You gotta. This is you're at the bob stage, right? Either you gotta fucking cut it or you gotta grow it long. And this is right now. You're at that. If you grow it long, man, you got this is where you keep going, and then you got to start doing the ponytail, or you got to fucking cut it. Your call.
Yeah, I need to basically reverse the clocks about 3 months, just all the way around, shorten it up by about an inch or two.
Yeah. Well, you look good either way, man. I don't kind of mind. You got a cool look about you. I like your style. You got a cool style. So whatever you fucking do with your hair, that's cool.
I had long hair for like 15 years. So
well, dude, your profile picture, right? Don't you have like really?
Yeah,
long
I
hair?
had long hair, and then
And that's when I saw you. I'm like, wow, you're not the same guy you were in your profile picture. Because in your profile picture, you look like really pissed off. Like you look like a like hardcore alternative. Yeah. Like,
I started growing my hair out long. Well, I started growing my hair when I was like 11.
Wow.
Yeah, 11. By 11, I had hair like halfway down my chest. And then I kept it long until I was 25.
Okay.
And after that, I chopped it off and shaved it all the way down.
Wow.
So I was completely like shaving bald. I shaved it twice every
Wow.
2 days.
Damn.
And I was completely bald for 3 years.
Damn.
And then I let it grow completely back out all the way long again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back, and then chopped it off, and now I'm kind of letting it grow to like this like mid length. I'm just
Right.
keeping it sort of in this area.
Mm-hmm. Danny said the 90s grunge, and exactly right. It's like your profile picture
Yeah.
looks like you look like you're a guitarist from fucking Seattle in the 90s. You know what I mean? Total grunge. And that's why I was so surprised when you came on the first time when we talked, because I honestly thought you were like this pissed off young fucking metalhead guy who's just like, fuck society, fuck everybody. And I'm like, this is a good kid. You know, he's like laughing and smiling and everything. He looks like young. I'm like, dude, you are nothing like your profile picture in Twitter. It's amazing. But that's how you look back then, right?
I don't know how old I look, but I'm 33.
You look a lot young. I thought you were like fucking 25 or younger, dude. I thought you have a youthfulness about you. You seem very young, and it's also like how you act. It's like you have this, and I don't want to make it sound.
Nah, I'm middle aged, man. I'm in my 30s.
That's
I'm
crazy,
old.
dude. Well, you have a youthfulness about you. It's like your attitude, whatever the fuck it is. Maybe it's a Virginia thing or a mountain thing, but I thought you were in your early 20s, and I don't ask ages. You know, it's like you don't want to discuss age, but I assumed you were between 22. I wouldn't even say 25. I thought 22, 23, and you were actually fucking 33. What?
I'm 33. I was born in 1991.
Dude. You hide it well. You're doing good.
I was at I guess it was like the last year's Christmas dinner thing at my work.
Yeah.
And some lady there at the job, like it's like all these different people from the company, and we're all eating. And we started talking about like in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I remember back when I started, or I can't remember what I said. I think I said, like, I was like, I've been here for 7 years or something like that.
Wow.
And she's like, geez, how old were you when you started? Like 17? And I was like, 25.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's like, I thought you were 25 now. And I was like, nah, that was like 7 years ago.
Yeah. No, dude, that's funny. You have a youthfulness about you. Not only do you look young, you act it. You know what I mean?
I've never been a smoker. I've never been drunk. Never done drugs.
Wow.
I've never tasted coffee. I don't.
Damn, dude. Fucking you.
I don't drink soda,
living, brother.
I used to drink soda a lot, but I don't even drink soda anymore.
Wow.
I gave that up probably around like 2011, 2012.
I'm guilty of everything you said. Done it all, man, and a lot worse. And that's
I'm
why
just
I
a
look
straight
the way I
edge
look.
guy.
That's cool. No, I mean, especially in this day and age, that's what amazes me is like, everyone's like, it's all fucking internet Twitter bullshit, but everyone's always kind of bashing the younger generations and stuff. Now you are like, you'd be what, a millennial?
I'm millennial.
Okay. They don't really bash millennials as much. They used to, but millennials have actually ended up being really cool. They're not really.
I still see millennials getting a lot of shit, but it is what it is.
Not as much, I've noticed. But in my book, millennials are cool. They are basically one step away from Gen Z, which is what I am. Or I'm sorry, Gen X. Because
Generation X.
What's that?
I said D Generation X.
Yeah. I'm proud to be Gen X. I love Gen X. Most people I know Gen X. But millennials surprised me even because they are actually a lot cooler than I thought they were going to be. And a lot of people say the reason why is because their parents are fucking Gen X. They were raised by Gen Xers. And a lot of millennials kind of inherit their parents' traits, the Gen X traits, the music, the movies and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's why they're kind of cool. So, but then you've got what's next after millennials? Is that Gen Z?
Gen Z, because technically we were supposed to be called Gen Y, but
Right.
no one ever calls us Gen Y because we're right at the change of the millennium. So
Yeah,
they called us millennials.
But
And then
Gen Z,
but they're now mostly adults now. And the next one after them is starting over. It's Gen Alpha.
And that's like my nieces. My nieces would be like
Those
Gen
are little
Alpha.
kids.
Yeah. The Gen Z are the ones who are kind of screwed up. That's the generation that is,
I think
kind of lost.
I think a lot of the Gen Z, they're more polar. So
Yeah.
a lot of the like Gen Z is very political,
Right.
and they're like hardcore mainstream Republican, or they're like really into the woke Democrat stuff.
They're very,
So
like you
they
said,
don't
extreme.
they clash.
Not a lot of in the middle. Not a lot of centrists.
And with Gen Alpha, they seem to be mostly just hating woke stuff.
Yeah.
They're quote based.
Yeah.
But they're kind of, it seems like half of them are like more Republican. They're like more hardcore, like, and then the other half is just like nihilistic, not give a shit. They're like, life sucks. I can't get a place. Everything's too expensive. I ain't got time to complain about politics.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, I have a niece who's 16 and a niece who's 13. And so I think they're the Gen Alpha, I believe. And it's interesting talking to them because they're a little different. The younger one's more like me. The 13-year-old, she's more private. She's you know what I mean. She's a writer, like she's a creative writer. She's writing her own novel. 13 years old, and she's writing a fucking book. You know what I mean? And her friends are the weirdos. You know, she's just that type, the introvert type, right? Her sister, the 16-year-old, is like a fucking cheerleader. You know what I mean? She's tall and beautiful and social, and she already has a boyfriend who's a fucking quarterback. And I mean, it's just they're so different, but they get along great. And none of them really, now they're too young still. They're 13.
It's like
16.
Daria and Quinn.
Yeah, but they don't care about politics and social issues. They just don't. They don't want. It's just they're enjoying life. You know, they do what they do. They have their shows or whatever, and that's that. And so I am trying to keep my eye on them as they grow up, hoping to God the system doesn't corrupt them and shit. And I don't think it is, because my family, my brother, and my sister is, and their mothers, we're pretty based and right-sided. You know what I mean?
I got heavily into politics around age 17 and 18.
Mm-hmm.
And all of my nostalgic obsession is from long before that.
Wow.
So my what I'm getting at is your relatives you're talking about, they don't care about politics.
Yeah.
Well, me, my nostalgic utopia, like, man, I wish I could go back to those simpler times. Well, those simpler times were before I was into politics. Once you get into politics, it's just like, fuck, man, this world sucks.
It does. And I was a late bloomer when it came to that. When I have voted 3 times in my entire life. That's it. 3 times. Twice has been the last 6 fucking years. I voted once in college. A friend of mine from high school who was a hardcore Republican drove to my college, picked me up, drove me to the fucking voting place so that I would vote Republican. And I did, just not for the same guy he was voting for, but he didn't care. He was like, as long as you don't vote Democrat, that's cool. And that was it. I never voted again until recently, I didn't even know what the fuck politics were until just probably 5-6 years ago. Like I couldn't give you a clear definition. Like 10 years ago, I couldn't give you a clear definition of Republican, Democrat, liberal. Blah, blah, blah. I didn't know. I was not political, zero political. I never read about it. I didn't watch the fucking news, nothing. I was 100% artist, filmmaker, photographer, partier, fucking blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? It was 2016. That's what did it. And I don't fucking know why. I have no idea why. But I remember starting to watch the pre-debate shit where Trump and everybody was all.
Well,
remember there were fucking like 17 of them. Like, remember there was all these fucking, you know, they were all on stage and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Under the Obama administration, he really, him and his allies, they really made everything political. He wanted to get a really strong youth behind him. Yeah. So he went into high schools and colleges.
Yeah.
And because of that, those high schoolers and, you know, young adults in college, they eventually grew up, became adults. Right. And under the Obama administration, he made everything so political. Mm-hmm. And he was very divisive in a lot of his things. That's how you had Trump appear. Yeah. Which was the opposite, that counter.
Right.
And so all the people who had they didn't like what Obama was bringing in, they now had their champion. So by 2016, you know, going into that election, a lot of people who were not political, they suddenly were. And there was a lot of new voters that just never really cared to vote. They got in on it then.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, I didn't know shit about politics until about 2015. And then I started to learn. And fortunately, we have fucking cell phones, so I could Google every fucking political spectrum that there was and history and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the internet really, it put a lot of the, it basically politics has become pop culture.
Yeah.
That's really the best way to describe it. That's
Dude,
why
they used to.
That's why you have so many hip hop artists and actors. They come out and they say, I support this candidate or this. It's because they're like those celebrities, that gossip drama crap that used to be really big for them. They realize they don't have the spotlight anymore. Politicians are the celebrities now.
Right.
Donald Trump and Kamala Harris and whoever, like these are the superstar celebrities. It's not the scientists. It's not the rock stars. It's not the porn stars. It's fucking politicians.
Exactly. Well, there used to be a saying years ago that politics was Hollywood for ugly people, because politicians years ago, they weren't celebrity status and in music videos and looking hot. Like, you look at fucking AOC. I mean, she's fucking hot. She's a young hot chick. She's a bartender. You know, she's a fucking politician. What the fuck? Politicians are supposed to be like old people, you know, who are ugly. All of a sudden, these politicians started to become attractive, and it was the celebrity status, you know. And now DC in politics, it's like fucking Hollywood, dude. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? It wasn't that way 10, 20 years ago. They used to say, you know, politics, DC was like Hollywood for ugly people, because they were saying the politicians are ugly and everyone in Hollywood is beautiful. Now, you know, they're almost the same, you know.
You did have some like musical artists who would say things that were political.
Right.
There were music videos that were a lot of rock and stuff like that.
YouTube was kind of political, you know.
Like you would have artists that would call out that kind of stuff.
Right.
Even, you know, NWA in their way, they were political. Right. Even though it was just basic fuck the police, it's still a political stance, speaking against authority.
Right.
It's just at the ground level. It's not about the president. It's not about the politicians. It's just fuck the police.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just so much different now. It's like politics is like Hollywood, and again, with all the media we have, the videos and the cell phones and the selfies and the fucking bullshit, everyone's on camera. So they all have to look fucking great. You know what I mean? And again, it's all fucked up, dude. But, yeah, I didn't know shit about politics at all up until about 2015.
Once you start getting into the politics, that's where you start getting into your stuff for like this book. Like you start talking about,
you wake up,
the world and the demons and the darkness and all that.
Dude, it woke me the fuck up. And ironically, the world started to wake up in the last few years. How many fucking conspiracy theories have proven to be true? It's over and over and over. It just one after another. It just doesn't stop. Everything they fucking told us in the last few years is lies. Everything's lies. And they keep someone, whether it's fucking Alex Jones or whoever the fuck it is. Dude, I swear to God, it's like almost like one a week or one a month. They're proving all these fucking lies are bullshit. They were fucking lies. And it's just like, now you get to the point. I'm at the point now where I don't fucking care how weird it sounds. If they're like, yeah, there's portals to other dimensions that open up in the woods, I'll be like, yeah, I believe it. Why not? Because everything that they fucking said was a lie. We're finding out is real. So is everything real? Is all the weird shit real? Like I said, I've mentioned this before. In the Bible, the word unicorn is in there like 7 times or 11 times. I forget.
I don't know.
There's a video of it. Google it. Unicorns are in the Bible like 7 times or more. Why? They don't exist, right? Unicorns are fairy tales. Well, then why are they in the Bible not just once, 7 different fucking times? Unicorns, man. White horses with a fucking horn on their head are in the Bible multiple times. Dragons are in the Bible multiple times. I mean, okay, so, wow, maybe this shit that we think is fantasy, what if it was fucking real? And again, the people who rewrite history said, oh, we can't have the people know this. So we'll just leave that out and we'll change this. And here we are thinking, oh, none of this stuff really exists. It's all fairy tales and stuff. But then you start looking at other cultures and they've got the same fucking shit. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just like there's common themes here all over the fucking world of giants and dragons and all this fucking demons and shit. So this is all fairy tale. Like everyone in every country just suddenly wrote the same fucking fairy tale over and over. You see them, it's like the pyramid theory. You're talking about, you've seen about the pyramids, right?
Yeah.
All the fucking countries built the pyramids roughly in the same time, right? The same 100 so years. From the Aztecs to the fucking Incas to the fucking Egypt, like all over the goddamn world, pyramids starting, right? And a lot of them look very similar to each other. Okay? Why? They had no contact with each other. They weren't visiting each other's countries. They literally didn't know the other countries existed, but they all just happened at the same time to start building fucking pyramids. Every country, whether it was, fucking a desert or a fucking jungle or whatever, or mountainous, or they're all building pyramids at the same time. Why? You see what I'm saying? You're like, no, this isn't a coincidence. There's some reason everybody on the planet started building fucking pyramids in roughly the same time. Why? You know what I mean? So you start questioning shit, you start researching shit, and you fall down rabbit holes. And the next thing you know, you're like, Alex Jones is the smartest guy on earth. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I'm joking. But yet I'm half joking. Because that motherfucker, even though he's loud and ranty, he has a bad reputation, how much shit has he gotten chastised about? Lies and this. and it's coming out through over and over and over and over. So then you have to say, okay, maybe Alex is not the crazy one, you know, maybe he's the sane one and he looks crazy because everyone else is fucking lying. I don't fucking know, you know.
There's a musical album that somebody made, and it's awesome. It's just short. I think it's only like, I can't remember. I think maybe 9 minutes long or something.
Right.
Maybe 12 minutes long. But it's like really awesome fucking deathcore music. But the vocals, there's no vocals. It's just samples of Alex ranting about aliens and interdimensional stuff.
Right.
So it's just this awesome band playing, and just imagine Alex Jones on stage ranting about aliens and interdimensional demons coming to rape your kids and kill you.
Right. Yeah. And again, you know, I'm just at the stage now where I don't know what the fuck is real and what's not. So I'm just trying to use my own eyes and based on my instinct.
Oh, you done went back on me now.
Oh, I'm just fucking around with pictures. I'm probably gonna wrap this up. I think where we stopped with her, right? With the
we got.
She's arriving.
Yeah, you was like, yo, I changed her face. She's young now, and then
she looks more.
About me being young, and
and here we are.
Politics.
Dude, I am so glad that you. Well, I know you listen to me, which is cool shit, because a lot of people don't listen. They just wait for their fucking turn to talk. And this proves to me that you actually are a good listener, because you wrangle my fucking dumbass from Pluto back to Earth. And that's like the same shit my brother does. And a few good girlfriends or friends do that, because I will just fucking go off forever and blah, 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 you know. And then I forget. I'm like, what's that?
I think I talked most of the time last time. So I'm just kind of letting you have your.
But you're keeping up there, man. You know, I'm trying to let you, you know, because I want to hear fucking what you have to say and how you think. But no, I get so lost where even I suddenly I'm like, where the fuck am I? How did I get here? It's like, how the fuck did I get here? I was in California and now I'm in Idaho. How did this fucking happen? And so I'm like, can someone guide me back? Oh, thanks, Ty. You know, it happens all the time because I just but so again, I appreciate it. I know you. It's good that you're a listener and you can wrangle my dumbass back to the original topic. So yes, I changed her face. I'm happy about it. She looks like how I pictured, and we'll just kind of stop here. But this is again actually real quick.
We can finish up this chapter or this chapter.
We'll continue next time. I don't know when, but this was literally just kind of like, well, let's start doing this and see. I'll know in a few days. I'll know like with how many views I get or comments. If they're like, shut the fuck up, don't ever do that again, I'll be like, okay, I'll do it. You know what I mean? But
one thing I want to point out, go over one more.
Backwards, yeah, here.
No, forward.
Oh, the next page.
Yeah,
after her.
After her. You have.
I gotta find it. Fuck. Oh, I do have it. Yeah, here we go. This is the last page I have set up for this.
Okay. Well,
okay, here we go. Yeah.
This will be my critique for this video.
Okay.
So in the image of Talantia down here in the bottom.
Right.
The dialogue, it says yes, but then it says he smiled.
Okay.
This is kind of goes back to what I was talking about in books where it's not so good to show and tell.
Okay.
So in the narration,
gotcha.
You're saying that he's smiling, but we have an image. We can see he's smiling. You don't have to tell us he's smiling.
Gotcha. Okay, that's cool.
And in books, there are these redundant things that people will write where they'll say things like, he picked up the bottle with his hand.
Right.
Well, of course he did.
Of course he did.
Or
he's not going to pick it up with his feet, you know.
He, as his eyes, or he looked left and atop the mountain, his eyes saw the explosion in all of its fiery glory.
Right. Right.
Well, of course his eyes saw
Yeah.
that. That's what eyes do. They
Exactly.
see things.
It's like stating the obvious. Yeah, you're right. That's cool. Okay, this example of dialogue here, right?
Yeah.
And well, here, this is actually the first words that are spoken in this chapter. She says adesse to Lanthe. Adesse is Latin for greetings. That's actually the first word of the chapter. Okay, now this dialogue here, these 3 sentences, right?
Yeah.
I don't do this in volume 2. Okay. The way I'm doing dialogue here is like a novel, like what you would do, right?
Yeah.
We, in quotes, we are all here, Celestiana, comment. And then I describe his fucking voice. His voice was deep and soothing.
Yeah.
And the next, blah, 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 blah. And then
Yeah,
here, the
it
yes.
reads like it's just pure text, like in a
Right.
novel.
Okay. This is because at this time, which was 9 years ago, I didn't exactly know what the fuck I was doing with this. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't want word bubbles. Okay, so I have to put it under, I'm assuming. And I wasn't doing text either. Narration, as in, you know what I'm saying? There's dialogue and there's narration.
It's like stage direction.
Right. 2 different things. There's narration, there's dialogue. 2 different things.
Yeah.
Dialogue is word bubbles. Narration is usually fucking boxes. I fucking neither of that in this book, right? And so I have this novel-like dialogue and narration together, because technically, here's the dialogue. We are all here, Celestiana. His voice was deep and soothing. That's technically narration, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just having them both in the same fucking sentence. That is different. In volume 2, what I'm working on now, in fact, I'll fucking show you. I'll bring up a page. I got so many fucking files. Everything's organized, but I have so much fucking material. No one knows. It's you guys. You'd think I've been doing this for like 50 fucking years. Okay. All right. Here's what I like, I think. Yeah. All right. Can you see this?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. So I'm
So now
doing.
you're going to almost like speech bubbles, but they're narration bubbles.
This is no boxes, narration boxes. Okay. And let me show you.
Yeah, that's how.
It's like torn parchment. See how I do it?
Yeah.
This is how all the narration is in the books from now on. It's like torn fucking parchment, and it's rectangular. It's boxes.
That's usually how it is in comics.
That's
And
what
the
I started.
narration-
Yes, I researched that, and actually, this friend of mine, a Zoomer, a young guy, he's like 25. It was his advice.
Yeah,
And I remember
he'd seen it and was like, yeah.
I went back home and I was fucking around with it. And at first I was just doing boxes. I'm like, wait a minute, motherfucker. It was like the map thing. I'm like, this is a medieval dark fantasy. They have parchment. Make the fucking boxes like torn parchment in the color of parchment. Bingo. I did it. I sent it to him, the young guy.
Looks
Fucking
professional.
loved it. And I said, motherfucker, this is because of you. I said, this was your idea. And I said, I'm giving you fucking credit because I had no narration boxes in this book at all. Right. And because of him, I went back and added it to this page and the page before. And so now volume 2 and everything from this point on has narration boxes, and it looks like, torn parchment, every single fucking one, no matter where the fuck they are. See what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, that's a win. That's cool as fuck. So now the dialogue will just be actual fucking dialogue, right? And now the fucking dialogue is different because now I'm color coding it and making different fonts. And this is just an example. Let me see. I don't want to ruin anything for you. Fuck. Where is something in hang on. I'm trying to get a page with narration that isn't going to ruin anything for you. Okay, here we go. This will work. I posted this. All right. This is the demons chapter. All right. See this?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Everything's very red, as you can tell. So this dialogue is Benevica, the succubus, right? You know this because in the previous page you saw. Okay. It's red. It's simple. It's fucking Arial, right? It's red Arial. All right. Now, this is bold with orange and fading into red. And that's him talking. Right?
Yeah.
Basically, I have all the fucking characters now have color-coded in different fonts to help distinguish them, right? As opposed to it's all white. Because in the book you have, all the fucking dialogue is white. And you have dialogue mixed with the fucking narration, and it looks like a novel and all this crap. Then I ain't fucking do that. Volume 2 is like narration boxes, and now the dialogue itself. In fact, I'll see if I can find it. I have here it is. Check this shit out. See how fucking rainbow like this looks. This is I haven't shown anybody this. See this? Here's your fucking shit. See? So God has, there's his text and font. Narrator has this. There's Talanthea. These are angels. These are demons. These are humans. Look, you got brown, you got gold, you got green, but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These are to be determined. I haven't figured this out. Oh, fuck, I got to figure this out. Here, look, Abaddon red, Abaddon green. You see what I'm saying? This is actually metallic. There are two angels. I don't even see, but it's like gold and silver. Like 3D. See what I'm saying? That's like gold and that's like silver. And there's blue, there's your purple, there's your light blue, turquoise. You see what I'm saying?
I see it.
So all these fonts, all these characters, this is going to be their dialogue. And I'm hoping it won't confuse the fuck out of people. Now, I don't think it will, because how often do you have 5 or 6 fucking characters together talking at the same time? You won't. You know what I mean? Most dialogues.
Once you have like 2 or 3 people just talking,
right?
They're not gonna, like, readers aren't gonna know. Like, if you have a solid black page,
right,
and you have the dialogue of somebody talking, and it's some letters of whatever, it's very highly unlikely that people are going to know, oh, it's the red letters, it must be this guy. Right. But when you have the 2 characters talking, once they figure out, oh, this one's orange, this one's green, they're going to be able to differentiate. They'll know.
Because
so you don't have to use the taglines.
Right.
Of like, because he says, she says.
No. Exactly right. Exactly right. That will end eventually, because obviously the narration is going to be under the picture of them. Okay, here's their face. So of course they're the ones talking. You know what I mean? So you will figure out, okay, wow, every time she's talking, her narration is fucking red. Every time he's talking, it's orange. Every time. I'm hoping people will understand once they see it. And the other thing, like I said, most narration is just a one-on-one thing. It's this character talking to this character. You know what I mean? So it'll be easy to see the difference. So that's another thing I've changed. But yeah, that's what's so interesting with this is
that's one of the hard things you run into in an actual novel.
Yeah.
Like there's some times in my books, it's rare, 2 times I can particularly think of, where there's like 7 or 8 people who sit down at once and they're all communicating with each other.
Yeah.
If the story calls for it, but you gotta kind of work with it.
Yeah. They talk about that in the Lord of the Rings. The Council of Elrond, they said it's
yeah.
a fucking nightmare in the book. They said it lasts like 40 pages.
So, yeah.
And you have like 20 plus characters talking together. And they said most of the characters haven't even, but you don't even know who the fuck they are. They're like, you know, councilmen and shit. And they said it's a fucking nightmare. And this is Tolkien, master, you know, ground zero of fantasy, the legend himself, right? Tolkien. And even his fucking dialogue was like confusing as fuck. So I'm like, okay, if Tolkien is all fucking confusing as shit with his complicated crap, I can figure this shit out. You know, I can have color coded fonts, different styles of fonts. And it's not 10 people talking at the same time. It's like fucking this character and this character, and this chapter is this one. You know what I mean? So I think it should be understandable. I don't think it was going to be confused. I think people would be more confused with like this format where it's all white, you know, Arial. There's no bold. There's no nothing. It's just, you know, and the whole. What bugs me is it's like a novel. You know, no offense, but it's like a novel. It's like, okay, this is like a fucking book. You know, it's you know, she says this, she said, and he said.
I recognized it as a novel, and I was like, that's unexpected.
And that's why this volume 1, I've said this before. I was only about 80% confident with it. Like when last year when I was crowdfunding it, I wasn't going nuts. I wasn't really throwing it everywhere. I was basically afraid of criticism because I was afraid, one, the graphic scenes were, I get shit for that. You know what I mean? Like people found out how bad it was. They'd be like, "Oh, you sicko, you Satanist," or whatever. Okay, you know what I mean? And then I'm like, this whole format, people don't even know about. You know, there's no speech bubbles, there's no narration. It's like novel-like dialogue, but yet it's supposed to be a comic. And it's all, they'll be like, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. I'm like, actually, I do know what I'm doing. I'm just basically trying to do something new and a little bit different than the rest of you. And I haven't exactly figured it out. Maybe I'm getting there. And so volume 1 is almost like the project 80% completed. Volume 2, I figured it fucking out. Finally, I figured it all fucking out. Now I fucking have 100% confidence in volume 2. And so now volume 2, I don't know if you've noticed. I think you have, because you're reposting my shit. Jesus Christ, dude. Thank you, by the way. I'm like, I'll come across some. I'm like, you're posting my shit. Who the fuck is this? I don't even know who this person is. And you're posting my shit. I appreciate that. That's cool as fuck. But as you can see, every day I'm posting shit. I did not do this a year ago. With volume 1, I was so hesitant about so many things. You know what I mean? With volume 2, I have 100% confidence in everything. And I think once it's done and you read it and you compare it to the first one, I think I'll be dying to fucking hear you give me your, you know, review and critique of it, because I think everything is better. Everything, dude. I think the drawings are better. The layouts are better. The dialogue's better than there. Everything. Basically, I think I've improved everything you could possibly fucking improve in this book. You know what I mean? But I'll find out, you know, when it's done.
One thing I've learned from the music world is,
right,
you know, the greatest band in the world has haters, and the worst band in the world has fans.
True. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what your book is like, you know.
Yeah.
There's going to be someone who hates it. There's going to be someone who loves it.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
You may as well just make something that you like. Just
Yeah.
make what you like. Tell a story that resonates with you.
Right.
And enjoy it.
And that's, yeah.
And somewhere out there in the world, there's people who are going to fuck with it.
Right.
Yeah, I fuck with that. That's cool.
Yeah.
But, you know, just do you.
No, and exactly that's what I'm doing. Like I said, I love this shit. You know, the more I draw these characters, the more I'm like loving them because they're becoming more real. I don't know if that makes sense, but the more I draw them and the better the drawing is, and the more I can make them look like they look in my fucking head, because you got to remember 10, 11, 12 years ago, I'm picturing all this in my head. It's like perfect. It's like fucking.
The more you do it, the better you get. Like,
right.
But with, you know, with music,
right.
I released 8 albums, and
Wow.
if I go back and I listen to my music,
Yeah.
I always start at the 3rd album.
Really?
I skip
You don't like the first 2?
I skipped the first 2, and it's just
That's
because
funny.
the first 2 they had their beginning issues. You know, the studio wasn't quite right, the mix wasn't quite right, the musical structure. It's like if I went back and redid this, I wouldn't put so many choruses or whatever. And you just kind of learn as you grow up, and you kind of figure out what works better.
Right.
And I could go back if I really wanted to. I could go back and try to like remaster it or re-record it, just completely redo it, or. But it's not worth doing all that.
You gotta move forward. Yeah. My brother gave me shit a few years ago when I wanted to kind of go back and redo some of, volume 1, and he was like, "Motherfucker, it's done." He's like, "Keep going forward, keep going forward." He's like, "You got a lot to do here." So I was like, all right. You know what I mean? And I am at that stage now. It's like, okay, it's cool seeing volume 2 getting almost finished. Like the more panel, as every page I get finished, it's like it's like a dream becoming real. Literally, I mean, that's all I can say. It's like it's all in my fucking head, crystal clear, dude. I smell it, I feel it. It's like it's fucking real to me. Like this whole fucking thing is like real to me. It's like I'm visiting a past life. That's how fucking real this is. But no one else knows it but me, right? I'm the only one that can fucking see it. So by doing this shit, and it's not just the book, it's the trailers, it's whatever. It's all the shit. You know what I mean?
It's becoming less of a hobby and more of your life.
Well, it's becoming more real. I feel like it's actually taking like physical shape. You see what I'm saying? It's like becoming real. I'm like, the more pictures of this character, and the more pictures of this character, the more it's just starting to become real life instead of just this thought, right? Images in my head. When I see it on paper and it looks how if I'm able to execute it the way I see it, that's fucking even better. I'm like, wow, this is exactly how I picture it. You know what I mean? So I just keep doing it. I'm just going to fucking keep doing it and keep going forward because, as long as I got a few people who think it's cool, like you and fucking whoever, as long as I can afford to do it, I'm just going to keep doing it. And, the goal, of course, is to have more people, but, I'm just going to try to do it as long as I can. So
that's the cool part about, art in general, just not just drawing art, but, any kind of art. Like this right here, like this is a thing in the world now.
Yeah. Well, you said this the other night.
And it's a thing in the world because you put it here.
Right. Yeah.
You took this out of your mind.
Yeah.
And put it in my hand.
It's kind of weird if you talk about
that.
I
have your imagination right here.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, you're getting really deep on me, man. This is cool. I appreciate it. I'm not quite ready for that yet. No, but you're right. You mentioned this in that tweet last night that you were talking about, that really deep one, And I clicked.
It was late and I was eating a lot of Airheads.
No. Hey, dude, don't. Dude, I was like, we could have an entire show about that. I just don't think many people be into it because it basically is talking about death. You know what I mean? I love talking about death. I've been fascinated with death since I was like 16 fucking years old. And so when you tweeted that, I was like, I know what you're talking about, brother. I said, I've been there, except I was there when I was younger than you. I was like a teenager when I started really thinking about death.
Well, you said I was too young to be thinking that stuff, but then again, you thought.
Well, you are too young to be thinking of it, but again, I thought you were 21 or 22. I didn't realize you were 33. I'd be like, oh, fuck, old man. Yeah. How come you haven't thought of it before? No, I'm kidding. I still think you seem kind of young to be thinking that way. But it's just, I wasn't like concerned about you. Like, oh, is he going to commit suicide? No, I'm like, I've been there. It happens all the fucking time. And like I told you in the little meme, it gets more intense. So you get, wait till you're like more like my age. You know what I mean? It's like, it's more, you think that way more because the end is closer. I am past midlife now. I'm at this is, what do they call it? God, the actors and stage. I'm not quite at I don't think I'm at the winter of my life, but I'm definitely at the autumn of my life. You know what I'm saying? Spring's gone, summer's gone. I'm in autumn. I'm probably at the end of autumn, approaching winter. You know what I mean? That's the poetic way of saying you're fucking getting older. Where you're like, you're fucking summer. You're middle of the summer, partying, you know. I'm fall.
I'm on top of the hill. I ain't over the hill yet.
Well, no, exactly. You're at the you are middle age.
I'm
like
just
you
up
said.
here on the mountain looking around.
Exactly right. I'm on the other side of the slope going down. You know what I mean? But
as they said,
I think as an artist, I think it's a creative person thing. I think anyone creative, poets, painters, artists, novelists, actors, I think creative people become obsessed with death. I shit you not. It just seems to be this common obsession with creative people where they all are like fascinated or obsessed with death, you know? Music, Jesus Christ, come on. Kurt Cobain, the 27 Club, over and over, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something about death is so fascinating. And when you mentioned that last night, I was like, wow, you and I could have a deep, long, fucked up conversation about that. Because to me, death, the whole idea of life and death goes right into time and basically the universe. To me, all three are the same fucking subject. Because life and death, we don't know the answer to, but, you know, obviously it happened. But what is beyond? Time is linear. So it always has been and always will be. There's no beginning or end. And that fucks with your head. It's like infinity. You can't comprehend, right? And then the universe, where does it end? There's no wall, because if there's a wall, what's through the wall? There's something, there's something outside the wall. You see what I'm saying? All of those things, like life, death, the life-death cycle, the universe, and time will drive you all fucking crazy. But I love thinking about that shit. You know what I mean? Because maybe I like going crazy, you know, talking. So anyways.
Me personally, I have a bit more of an abstract view of time.
Right.
My view of time, I don't like to think of the present by itself. I'm very self-aware of both the past and the future.
Okay.
And so for me, the way I live my life, the only people I'm trying to impress is the past me and the future me. Because in my mind, I believe they both still exist.
Okay.
And so at any given time, there is a past, a present, and a future. They effectively exist at the same time. And so, you know, you go back to, you know, ancient Rome and Caesar. Okay,
right.
Well, Caesar was alive back then.
Right.
But to me, it's back then.
Right.
I'm alive. I'm here, and he was there. He's back there in the past.
Right.
But for him, his perspective, his point of view, is he's in the present right now.
Right.
And I'm in the future.
Right.
And so with that in mind, the way I live my life is I'm always looking at the past me, and I'm always trying to live up to the expectations of past me. Past me, what do I want to be when I get older? What do I want to do when I'm in my 30s? I want to make sure I don't let that past me down. But at the same time, I know the future me's out there somewhere, and he's looking back at me now, and I don't want him to be disappointed, thinking, "Damn, why did I waste all that time? I was 33 years old. I should have been doing this. I should have been doing that."
Yeah.
So I want to take advantage of what I can now, so that when I finally meet that dude in the mirror, he's impressed with me. He's like, "Cool, I did everything I needed."
That's cool. No, like I said, it's deep, and you could go forever. I mean, we could talk all fucking night, and this is why I said we should save this for another night. Like if there's some night where you're in the mood, I'm in the mood. I got another fuck. I'm like, Tyler, I have nothing to talk about, but I want to stream. What should we do? You like, let's talk about death all night. I'd be like, fuck, there we go. We're going to talk about death all night, and I'm sure it'll be hugely popular. But for another night. Yeah, I think
instead of a whole paragraph of, this podcast, hey, we're coming together. We're talking about this, and like come out at 9:00 tonight. We're talking about death.
Death.
And that's
it. That's it. In big bold letters. Tonight's episode, on Indiesphere tonight, we talk about
live stream.
That's it.
Yeah.
We're live streaming death. Me and Tyler. Danny's chatting out like a fucking crazy woman in here.
She's really lonely. She wants us.
Apparently, we need someone else to fucking chat. My brother was here, but he's only good for like an hour, and then he fucking takes off. Wow, my nature spirit. Okay, she's just Tyler's being the Anunnaki. Okay, wow. She said, oh my God. Dude, wow, Danny, you are typing.
Slow down, Danny.
She said, my hair. No, okay, the 90s grunge. Yep. Oh, I got that. She said, Jesus age, crazy always keeps you young. Okay, so there you go. That's true. Crazy always keeps you young. The good crazy. Oh, I was talking about Alex Jones, and she calls Alex Jones her brother.
Huh.
She says, stop calling my brother MF. I said, that's a compliment. If I call you a motherfucker, that's a good thing. I'm not apologizing for that. He is on tour right now.
By the way, I changed my my YouTube name.
Oh, look at this. Here we go. Hold on one second. But you are ignoring me. And then she says, okay. So I caught her right at the end, right when she started to snap and say, pay attention to me. I said, okay, I'm fucking here. What do you want?
I'm talking about death, okay?
Yeah, exactly. We're having a serious conversation, Danny, about death, okay? Please don't interrupt us. Women. No, that's cool. Danny, obviously, Danny knows I love her. I mean, I can't actually believe she's fucking in here because it's, dude, we're going on 11 o'clock here.
It's probably like
4
or 5 over there.
4 in the morning. Yeah, it's going on 4 in the morning there. So the good thing is,
man.
What's that?
I said, why don't you go to bed, ma'am?
Yeah. Well, no, the good see, this is what we talk. I'm a night person, and she was too. Like when we met, we've never met, but like a year or so ago, we started to talk. She was, she's artistic and creative and crazy and all this shit. And she was a night person. I was a fucking night person. So like we were both night people. It's fucking great, right? And then over the course of the last, I don't know, 2-3 months, like both of us at the same time, not even realizing, we're like both fucking day shifters now. I'm like getting up at like 7, 8 in the fucking morning. She apparently is getting, I don't know what the hell her sleep schedule is like. But basically we're not staying up all night anymore. And it sucks because I love staying up all night. I thought it was cool when she stayed up, when she was a night person like me. But it's like now we're both like day people. And I'm like, I have to get back to the nights because I hate this day shift. I really fucking do. For her, I guess the days work better, but it seems like she liked the nights better than the day. I don't fucking know. Is this true, Danny? What do you think? I don't know. If you're still here, answer. I think she's still here. But she seemed more of a night person, and I am definitely a night person. But somehow we've managed to be on the fucking days now, and I'm really fucking tired of it. I want to get up at like fucking noon and stay up till fucking sunrise. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Dude, I'm waking up like I got a fucking bank job. I'm like 7:30 in the morning. I'm up making coffee, and 9 in the morning. It just, and then like 11 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock, I'm like going to bed. I'm like, this sucks. I'm like, midnight is my peak, man. Midnight is where I'm like, fucking let's do this. And I'm drawing and writing and crazy fucking ideas and shit. Midnight. And then it goes all through the night, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the morning. I'm like, okay, now I'm winding down as the sun's rising. Not these days, like the last 2-3 months, dude. I'm like on fucking day shift and it's really pissing me off. I gotta get back to that. Because I'm more productive at night. I work better at night than I do in the day. I've only gotten. What's that?
I was just gonna say I'm an early morning kind of guy.
But see, I am too now because I see your fucking tweets at 6:37 in the fucking morning. You see what I'm saying, dude? I always miss that shit because I was asleep by like 5, 6 in the morning, and I didn't get up till noon or whatever, right? So all this morning shit I missed on Twitter. Now I'm realizing, like when I wake up at 7:30 in the fucking morning, there's you and all these other people who are just getting up to and tweeting and posting and all this shit. And so I'm like, hey, what's, and I'm like, I never was like this. I was like,
this past Saturday, the weekend, and I think I woke up at like 6:30 a.m.
Yeah.
And I got up, maybe bullshit on social media for an hour. So about 7:30, I got a shower, and then I went for a walk throughout the woods, hiking up and down through the holler.
Sweet.
Got back to the house around like 9:30ish and just started padding out burgers and cooked on the grill.
That's awesome, dude.
By 10:30 a.m., I'm eating burgers.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't even want to tell you what my diet's like. It's completely fucking insane. It's all like I eat one meal a day. Like literally, like an actual meal, I eat one meal a day. The only other time I eat is like a half meal. It's like a fucking snack. It's like breakfast, basically. But it could be at noon or fucking whenever. But like my first meal is like, it's always fucking pastry. I don't know why. I love like pastries. Like fucking, I don't give a shit if it's chocolate or vanilla or whatever the fuck it is. If it's a Danish or a fucking muffin, it's got to be like a pastry. It's like my breakfast. So it's like 1 or 2 or 3 like pastries with the fucking coffee and the juice and the fucking water. I'm a liquid freak. Like, I mean, obviously, coffee and water at the same time. It's like one after the other, one after the other. I'm even worse, like in the morning, because there's juice with that. So there's coffee, juice, and water. So I'm just like, ooh,
Mix and match.
And yeah, and I'm basically like almost a liquid diet. And so then all fucking day, it's just coffee. And water, coffee and bottled water for hours and hours. I literally am like full. I'm full of liquids. I'm like, why am I not hungry? It's like, because I'm so full of fucking liquids. You know what I mean? I am full. It's just all liquid, right? So then at dinner time, 6-ish, 7-ish, that's where I have my one meal. So I actually fix a meal, and I always has to have meat because I love meat. There's always bread or some fucking thing, and this and there's fucking it's an actual meal. And that's it. I'm full. The rest of the night, back to fucking coffee and water until I go to bed. So it's a really weird diet, but it works for me. But grilling at 10 in the morning, I don't know. And now I guess it'd be cool. But before I would be like sick. I'd say, no fucking way. I said, I don't want to even think about any burgers until after like 12 noon. Anything before noon. If it's not a pastry or coffee,
that was my breakfast. I was just cooking burgers.
Well, that's kind of how I am now because sometimes, like I said, when you're up all night, when is breakfast? It's 6 o'clock at night. Breakfast is everything switched. Breakfast is dinner, and dinner is breakfast. You know what I mean? So, but now that I'm on day shift, it's all fucked up. So, anyways, Danny just says yes. I don't know what the fuck she's saying yes to. I don't even know if she's here, but I'm gonna wrap this shit. Tyler, man, it's been 3 fucking hours, brother. I did not want to keep you this long. I planned on an hour. This always happens. I said, 1 hour, and then it's fucking 3 hours. So I
was just letting you.
If I kept you longer than you wanted, I apologize. If
good?
anytime you need to go, just say I'm out, boom, and go. You know what I mean? Don't worry about offending me or being rude. I don't give a fuck. But I'm glad you stayed. I'm glad we're able to talk this long. I didn't think we would go fucking 3 hours, so this is cool. And so I appreciate all your feedback because, again, you had some good feedback. And, again, that's why I had you on. So I guess in conclusion here, I don't know when we're going to do this again. This was just kind of I thought of it a few days ago. I'm like, sure, why not? So if you want to continue this sometime, we can, and we'll talk, all right? Because I like your input. Yeah, it was cool. Thanks for doing this for me, because I kind of wanted to go through some of this. You know what I mean? And all I can say is that, like,
It's good to
volume
bounce
2,
ideas off people, man.
Yeah.
Get it out there and
right, exactly right. Because I don't really, because again, I do this on my own. I don't have a writer and a this, and it's like it's all me, you know. So it's cool to get feedback from people, creative people mostly, because it does gives me. I'm like, oh, you're right. I could try this time, or something I thought, you know, oh, maybe I should do this, and you're just like, no, fuck, leave the color white. It looks better, and I'm like, really? That's cool. So all this shit helps. So it helped me tonight. So again, you know, if you want to do it sometime, cool. And I know I'm half joking about the whole death thing, but I'm kind of half serious. That's how I am. If ever I joke, there's always some seriousness to it. So again, if there's some like night where we're bored and you feel like, and I feel like I may send you a DM and say, hey, how about whatever night this week we pull the death fucking shit? What do you think? Who cares, man? Even no one watches. Well, it'd be cool for you and me just to bounce off ideas of that crazy shit that we think about, you know?
well, you just tossed around the idea of trying to have a show on Sunday. I could come right back. We could keep doing
This
this
coming Sunday?
if you want to.
Yes. This is Wednesday night, right?
Yeah, this is Wednesday.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Maybe
You started
man,
this
because-
video with saying I'm gonna do a video on Sunday. Any ideas? So
if we don't get a better opportunity or a better option, which I probably won't, sure. Because again, it's like this. It's just casual. I'm gonna make sure I gotta check this fucking light out. This is really weird. Look how it's like darker here. There's something up with this fucking light. I'm finding out tonight, but it is. So if you don't hear from me for a couple of days, I portaled to fucking hell or someplace, and I'm fine. Believe me, I know my way around. You know what I mean? But I gotta fix this fucking light. But yeah, maybe Sunday night we could do this. We could just have a bullshit hangout.
we'll just
you know?
because we only got like halfway through chapter 2. We were supposed to do the first 3 chapters.
Well, it's okay. I think everyone will live. I think it'll be fine.
We were like, chapter 1. Here's the opening page. We can't show the rest of chapter 1. Here's half of chapter 2. Thanks for being around for 3 hours.
But dude, we dissected the shit, and like I went up on Tim, my fault. I'm like, 1 minute we're talking about this angel in the dialogue, and then next thing I don't know, we're talking about like fucking alien dogs on Pluto and how it affects Trump. I mean, it's just like, how the fuck did we get over here? This is how it goes, though, dude. I'm telling you, man, this is cool conversation. A conversation sucks if it just is like, answering, yeah, okay. You know what I mean? Dude, if we wind up way off topic, that means we have like traveled off the road into the fog through the fucking, poison trees, and now we're over the fucking Iron Hills, and we're like, holy shit, look how far we've gone. Let's get the fuck back to the road, man. You know what I'm saying? That's not a bad thing. Maybe for the audience it's a bad thing, but there's only Danny here, so it's not. I'm not too concerned about it. And apparently Danny seems to be having conversation all to herself. If you haven't noticed, if you haven't seen the chat, dude, it's just like one after another, after another, after another. It's like, who are you talking to? Are you talking to me? You asked. I'm poor. I'm sorry, dude. You asked if I was still here. She said, so she's still here.
How's the weather there, Danny?
She's still watching this waste of fucking time that we're doing. This is funny. All right. So, okay, I'll tell you what. Let's see. I will I'll get with you like fucking in the next couple of days. I'll DM you on Twitter. And if you want to do this Sunday night, sure, why not? You know what I mean? And I'll try to have some, if you want to talk, like you want to continue this shit, you want to continue the book shit?
Yeah. There was
we don't have to do much. We can do a little bit of that and then jump into death and all the crazy shit, because that stuff's kind of cool too. Talking about all that weird shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to feel like we have to, do all the book and shit. We can do like a little bit at a time.
What
so I'll just,
there was like a specific thing I wanted to kind of touch on, book related.
Really?
Yeah, but like I was just like letting you kind of do your own thing.
Well, what did you like? As in, is this something we could talk about Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So-
what is it? Give me an idea so I can prepare for it.
Well,
Is it
it
like
was-
something coming up, like a future page, like a page coming up, or what?
well, it was gonna touch on chapter 3,
Mm,
and I was gonna
which we're
reference
not
some,
yet.
yeah, I was gonna reference some other stuff like just totally out there in the world and
Okay. I will, because what I do is I have to separate, because these pages are actually 11 by 17, so I have to fucking separate them and all this crap and put them in a separate file so I know what the fuck I'm doing for this show. So let me get through chapter 2 and chapter 3 for Sunday so I can present them without being confused. And then we can cover the rest of chapter 2 and into chapter 3, and you can talk about your thing, and then we'll just go from there. Cool? We'll plan that for Sunday. So is 8 o'clock still good for you?
yeah, we could do 8 o'clock.
The reason why I don't do 7, I know you mentioned 7. I don't know if you can see, but see these door fucking, this goes out to my balcony.
Okay.
It faces the fucking sunset. The goddamn sun pours in here like it's heaven at 7 o'clock at night. And it fucks up the whole goddamn room, right? So by 7:45, the sun is down, and suddenly all the light's fine. You know what I mean? So that's the main reason why I don't stream too early, because the sunlight it's nuts. This room is crazy. So I try to shoot for like 8 o'clock and after, because it's dark by then. So I know it's late for some people, but it's just it works for me. I'm a night person. I'm trying to get back. So if 8 o'clock's cool for you,
Yeah.
okay. Well, we'll plan on it, but I will tell you for sure in a couple days, just in case something comes up. But yeah, Sunday night we can kind of continue this, and that'd be cool. So what else? Anything else, man? Anything I forgot, or questions or anything?
Well, if we forgot anything, it must not have been important.
True. Good. I like that attitude. You're right. So, okay, I want to thank Danny for being here the whole time.
Yeah, she's a trooper.
3 hours? Good for her. My brother was the first hour. Actually, I think it was for more than an hour, I think. I think he's still a little bit over.
Hopefully, provided
thanks.
some good entertainment for her.
Apparently that, or she's really fucking bored, and this is all she's got. And that could be. But I don't know.
She's trying to work on her American accent. She's trying to imitate us. She's studying up on us.
She's trying to blend in. She's gonna surprise the fuck out of us one day.
One of those videos you had somebody else on. I popped in the comments, and me and her were kind of commenting back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I told her I was from Virginia,
Right.
and I think she said that she was from Virginia or something, but I don't remember what
She's been there. She's visited.
She's been there.
I didn't realize it, but she has been to America twice, and I'm not sure what the first time ever, but this whole southern area, like Virginia, this whole region, this whole southern area is where. Oh, and now she's talking about her past life.
Yeah, she says something about that.
Yeah, I think it's time to wrap up. So everyone have a good night, and Danny can go be crazy on her own. I'm kidding. I was in America 4 times. Oh wow, 4 times! I thought you were only here twice. Wow, she said she's been here 4 times. Wow, good for her. Yeah, but anyways, I was really surprised that she'd been to like Virginia, North Carolina. I was like, fuck, that's like where we are. That's really cool. So yeah, all right. So Sunday night we'll plan on that. And yeah, thanks to Danny, thanks to my brother, and thanks to everyone else. Thanks to you for staying out. And are you like you say you get up early, so you get up like 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So you go to bed like 11 o'clock at night, midnight, whatever.
Normally I go to bed at 10.
Oh, okay. So this is kind of a little bit past your bedtime because it's 11. Yeah. So okay. Well, I will remember that. So Sunday night, I'll try to do it. We'll try to do a 2 hour thing. We'll do 8 to 10 at most. You know what I mean? Like, don't have to do it till
normally.
10.
Yeah, normally I try to go to bed at 10 because I'm getting up at 6 a.m. to go to work.
Right. So you need that 8 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then Sunday night we'll plan on 8 o'clock. the limit is 2 hours, 8 to 10. If we don't make it, that's fucking fine. I don't, we'll just see how it goes. Because like I said, I don't have anything planned for Sunday. There is something I have in the works for the following Sunday, and another casual interview type of thing, but I still have to figure that out with the guy maybe on. So for now, yeah, we'll kind of continue this Sunday night. And you want to get to chapter 3, so I will get that set. So awesome.
I bought the comic from the last guy you had on.
Pete.
I don't remember his name. The guy with the sunglasses.
Yeah. Good. He's the campaign. He's the Indiegogo campaign.
Y'all was talking about it, and I was just like, oh, tab over, bye.
Right.
And then I left in a comment. I was like, order number whatever. And
I thought I saw that, but I wasn't exactly sure, so I didn't want to say anything. But basically, I backed it the night before. You backed it. My brother backed it when he was in here. He got like 3 or 4 backers on this show, and that got him to his limit because he was shooting for this $9,000 whatever. Well, because of us, he got there.
He said something to that effect, like I'm close, and I was like, "Well, shit, I'm not poor." I'm
right, and so
on his book.
yeah, and so like but you, me, and my brother did for sure. I don't know if anyone else did, but I know the 3 of us did. So yeah, that's cool.
I don't even know what his book's about. I just fuck it.
It's kind of this whole medieval dark shit kind of. It's not fucking superheroes flying in the sky with capes. It's armor and swords and fire and shit. So that's why I got it, because that's my shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for doing that. But no, dude, it's cool. I like hanging out and just talking like this, and it helps having your input about all this. So yeah, we'll plan on Sunday.
Some other guy's comic that night too. I bought his, and I said I bought some other guy's comic too. Somebody they had like 3 issues. It was issues 7, 8, and 9, and I made a post on X, and I was like, hey, if you're collecting these, if you got 1 through 6, may as well get 7 through 9 because here's your chance.
That's cool.
And I was like, I don't know if you can get the other ones if you don't. And then the guy left a comment and was like, you can get them all on the thing. And I was like, oh, really? So then I just bought 1 through 9.
Good.
So whenever they show up, I'll have 9 issues of like a mouse version of Batman or whatever the hell it was.
That's cool. Yeah, man. There's so much out there. There are so many indie creators out there. There's so much shit to buy. It's nuts. And so obviously everyone loves it when people like you get their stuff, because there's a ton of it out there. But yeah, that's cool. You're definitely doing your part for the community. You know what I mean? It's like you're definitely getting involved in that, and that's cool. So, all right, man. Then this is then cool. Have a good night. It's a good night. Did some good shit, and get your sleep.
We'll get to part 2.
Part 2. Yeah, we'll get to part 2. But yeah, hopefully we won't go far too off the path. That's all my fault. Not your fault. That's my fault. I appreciate you pulling me back. I totally appreciate it.
Dude, I just let go of the reins and just enjoyed it. I was like, fuck it, man. This horse knows the road better than I do. I'm just gonna kick back.
I appreciate it. That's cool. But yeah, man, it was a cool night. I needed it. I just wanted to fucking kind of cut loose and hang out and bullshit. And this is exactly what I love.
It's what you seemed like you just wanted to relax. So like, it's cool.
Like I said, it's cool that Danny. I wasn't expecting Danny in here tonight because she's very busy right now. She's doing like 3 or 4 fucking projects right now. On fucking this movie and this film and this clip and this fucking review. She's doing all this shit. Maybe this was a break for her. Maybe she's like, you know what, fuck, I'm gonna hang out in this room.
She's been on lunch break.
Yeah, a long lunch break, because maybe she needs a break too. I'll talk to her whenever, but I'll say, hey, you okay? Are you okay? Because that's cool. So yeah, man. So let's plan on Sunday night. But again, I will let you know for sure in a DM on Twitter. But we'll plan on 8 o'clock Sunday night, same kind of shit again. Cool.
Okay, sounds good.
Awesome. So for that, we wrap the show up, and I'll say good night to everybody, and good night to you, and we're all good.
Later.
Later, man.